Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, morning, noon, or night, and welcome to r/stories about Kevin. Alright, I'm just quickly finishing up the setup behind the scenes. Hi Ren, hello Endo, hello Ghost, hello Lass, hello Shara, how are you guys? Hi Dread, welcome, welcome. We're delving into the wondrously vast world of Kevin tonight. Alright, let me just finish this ye old setup. Alright, there we go. And alright. Right, connect to phone. And connected VT. Oh my god, VBridger got an update. This is a lot different than it was yesterday. Okay. Alright, everything looks connected. Yes. Okie dokie. And popping on over now. Hi guys, hi. Welcome. Ooh, I hope you're having at least a not bad time at work. Hi Xana, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you guys for asking, I appreciate it, thank you. And how are you guys? I hope you're all doing brilliantly. And of course, welcome to r/stories about Kevin. We've never entered the dark domain of Kevin before. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sometimes Titch just refuses to turn the thing off automatically. You know, just to make it difficult. Of course. Oh my god. Ooh, let me just quickly. There we go. Oh my god. Survive Christmas with the family? Oh. I mean, hopefully you got lots of nice prezzies though. That's the real question. You know. Alright. Ow! Nah, so painful, honestly. I need to fix that actually. It was supposed to be just for the subathon. Alright, give me a quick moment. I keep forgetting to fix that price back. Where are we? Throw something. Alright. There we go. Returning it to back as it was pre-subathon. Alright, and of course, just gonna quickly go into the settings. So we're gonna see some stuff for a moment. Alright, there we go. Alright, and alright, there we go. All done. I forgot to fix that because that was supposed to be just for the subathon. Oh my god. Yeah? No, alright, that is really weird. Yeah, no. That was supposed to be subathon discount only, not perma. Oh my god. Alrighty, Oh no, Ren, you're cleaning, no. Seriously, is the thing still giving difficult? Because yeah, like, I've got my other headphones. How is it? Oh, hell no, that ain't being perma, absolutely not. Y'all would have way too much bloody power if that were the case. Oh my god. Of course, I do hope you feel alright though. Oh my god. Please take care of yourself, yeah, right? Take care. And feel no pressure. Alright. Is the issue still happening though? Oh my god. It's like it's definitely an OBS thing. Yeah, because I did notice, like, while I was setting up, you saying you noticing the mic issue, but the funny thing was the mic was muted when that was happening, but I did see the little audio, the audio bar jumping up and down as if it was collecting sound, and it's like, that's impossible. It's muted from the microphone. So clearly, like, OBS it's an OBS issue. So at least that's one thing. We found out where the heart of the issue is. Oh my god. I'm not really a spontaneous streamer, I'm afraid. I will do a Hangman stream next week, but I don't tend to do stuff just like randomly. Oh my god. Alrighty, alright, let's just we need to pop up like this. That's being annoying. Alright, there we go. I mean, hopefully it's not too annoying. I suppose I can try and fix the... Alright, let's pause that, and I'll see if I can fix the sound browser. Bloody hell, that was loud. Someone had a very loud car go, Jesus, what the fuck, highway? Alright, someone was really loud on the highway. Jesus Christ. That is not that loud. Oh my god, someone needs to get their car shift up, you bastard. Someone needs to get their shit checked. Damn, son. Alright. There we go. So I've moved the music to another browser just in case that was causing some of it. Alright. And... Alright, there we go. Oh yes, I know, right, Shinka? It's like literally like real fast. Like, hey, look at me, I have a car, and I'm like, your car doesn't sound fancy. Your car sounds dead. Oh my god. Oh, that's so sweet, Ace. I love that. Your boyfriend sounds very lovely. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh no, it's Anna. Oh my god. At least you got some good presents though, and that's the important part. So that's actually, that's very sweet. That's very sweet, actually. That pendant sounds very sweet. Oh my god. Bass boosted music. Oh no, that's the worst. What is with cars on the highway tonight? Oh my god. Car sounds as dead as my will to live. I don't really have a favorite car. I don't know. I suppose Jeeps are cool. No pressure though, no pressure, of course. Hello Nara, how are you? Welcome. And of course, welcome Jinker, it's lovely to see you. Oh my god. Alright. So, the plan for stream tonight is we are going to be delving in to the wondrous world of r/StoriesAboutKevin. Now, apparently, a Kevin is someone who consistently or greatly shows a complete lack of intelligence through incompetence of social and societal norms, or is purposely antagonistic in their poor decision making. So, it sounds like we're about to delve into the wondrous realm of dumb fuckery, and I love that shit. There's gonna be some smooth braids tonight. Oh my god. Oh, that's very sweet, Ace. That's very sweet. I mean, to be fair, Jinka, I would assume that's a very cool car. I don't know a lot of cars. Like, literally, when it comes to, like, vehicles in general, like, I think Jeeps look cool. And I do like the Kawasaki Ninja, I think is a really cool bike. But, like, that's, like, the start and end of my vehicle knowledge. in my soul amongst souls, my dream motorbike is a Kawasaki Ninja. But I also know that I'm a lame piece of shit, and I most likely will come out of it with a scooter instead. Should I ever choose to go down that track, of course. It's like, man, I love that really cool sports bike. Toddles on by in a Vespa. Alrighty, so let us commence. I mean, honestly, same. Ah, yes, scooters, bros, let's go. Honestly, I'm genuinely thinking of saving up for a scooter this year. My uncle will look upon me with disappointment, but my dad will be amused. My uncle really loves motorbikes, and like my dad used to have a scooter and used to always be, you're so lame, you're so lame. Like, said with love and affection, of course, but it was like one of those like, ah, God. Alrighty. Now, this first story is simply called He Wants to DNA Test Her Kids. So, I can't even completely wrap my brain around this, Kevin, but when my friend Sage told me this story, I just had to get her permission to post it here. She gave it, so here we go. Fair warning, I fear the number of IQ points that may be lost in reading this. Well, Sage started dating Kevin about 2 years before this incident. Things seemed to be going alright between them. She told me he was a bit of a derp and sometimes incredibly oblivious to some things. He couldn't pick up subtle clues, and even suggestions flew over his head with about the mile of airspace between his skull and the suggestion. She originally chalked it up to him being on the autism spectrum, as she had a few other friends who have similar problems picking up cues. So she just switched her behaviour from talking to neurotypical to talking to neurodivergent, and the bumps smoothed out for a while. All is well and good. And then the talk of taking the relationship seriously came up. Marriage, becoming a family. And that's when the plane hit the mountain with a cartoonish bang. Kevin announced that he wanted to DNA test Sage's kids to make sure they were his. Kids who were 5 and 3 when Sage and Kevin started dating. Sage said she had to come to a full stop in the conversation for several seconds while her brain rebooted. She said, they're not your kids. You know they're not. My ex-husband and I had them together before I even met you. She had still been pregnant with the youngest when she and her ex had finalized a divorce. Whole other story. And then Kevin says, yeah, and now that we're getting married, they'll become mine. I just want to DNA test them to be sure of it. So Sage replies, let me see if I understand this. Do you actually think my children's DNA will change to become biologically yours when you adopt them? And Kevin responded with, obviously, I just want the confirmation on paper is all. There was a long conversation about how DNA didn't work that way, with his rebuttal that adopting them would make them become his. Then there had to be a conversation that becoming his children would only happen on paper and in the legal system, that no, the children would not magically transform into his biological children once the paperwork was filled out. Him insisting that everybody said the kids become theirs once adoption happened. Her explaining the concept of adopted children are loved just as much as if they were biological, and that was what they meant. Him insisting that everything pointed to kids becoming theirs. His mum eventually had to become involved to back Sage up. His dad had to become involved to back Sage up. A few books had to get involved to back Sage up. Kevin was furious. He couldn't understand why people would ever adopt a kid if the kid didn't become the actual biological child of the people who took them in. How stupid and selfish it was for kids to retain the DNA of the sperm/egg donor. How could any kid who wanted to be adopted refuse to change one little thing so they could have parents? DNA doesn't work that way is such a bullshit excuse. He ranted, he raved, and right in front of his own parents, he told her that if her kids weren't going to become his kids, then the marriage wasn't going to happen. He told her that he would give them all a week to change their minds and agree to be his biological kids. He said when they stopped being selfish and when the DNA test proved it, he would take the kids in. And that was when Sage said to me, and that's how the relationship ended. And I had to take a moment and respond, wait, hang on, was he just looking for an excuse to break it off? Or did he just get cold feet? Or want to date around some more? Or... And then Sage replied, no, he really is just that stupid. His mum called me on the sly and very gently suggested that I just break it off with Kevin, because no matter how much she and his dad talk to him, he's adamant about it. He's saying that he will never date a woman with kids from here on out unless they agree to change their DNA to become his if the relationship becomes serious. So Sage is single again, having dodged a tactical nuke. God help everyone if he ever breeds. Oh no! Oh Jesus Christ! Oh damn, that is smooth. That brain is. Was this Kevin American? It says a lot that, like, this Kevin's parents got involved, going, no, that's not how DNA works, and he still was like, no, your children's DNA must change to match mine, or else. That's not how it works. I mean, you know a brain is smooth when you need to actually stop what you're doing and just contemplate existence for a moment. Oh my god, lads! You can use it as a mirror. Oh man, I don't like. I think the worst part is definitely when he doubled down. Like, definitely when he doubled down was the worst part. Oh my god. I mean, it makes you wonder though, like, if that's how he believes DNA works, if he had a kid with someone and they split up, and then the person with the kid who had custody of the kids married someone new, would he throw a stink about their DNA changing to the new husbands instead of being his kids? He probably would. Oh wow, yeah, no, there were some IQ points lost in that one. I don't need any Freddy. Alrighty. Okay, so this next one is simply titled Kevin and the Coke. I'm going to tell y'all a stupid story, and I'm gonna tell it just the way I remember it. Yes, it's about Kevin, but I'm not gonna spare myself here either. I used to be a dumbass too. I don't have much of a defense except that I'm from Florida and this took place there. Maybe that's all the defense I need, I don't know. This story happened during and because of my employment at Radio Shack. If you didn't already know, Radio Shack workers used to be the absolute fucking party animals back in the day. I tell you this because no one out there seems to understand just how hard a nerd can go, and because it's germane to the story. So yeah, I was working at a Radio Shack in South Florida, and we just completed our inventory. Anyone who has worked in retail knows just how awful and tedious and freakishly time-consuming an inventory can be. Since this happened back in the 1990s, before QR codes and phasers came out, we had to find, count, and record each resistor, transformer, and capacitor. Every fucking item in the whole store by hand, with nothing but pen and paper. And boy did Radio Shack have a lot of little parts. It was mind-numbingly dull, and the process took several days to complete. This was also back when the movie Titanic came out, and the company had some kind of eldritch corporate partnership which required us to play that abominable song on repeat all damn day. You know the one. Don't make me say it. Naturally, out of self-preservation and sheer desperation, many of us employees resorted to unholy amounts of drugs and alcohol. Okay, I need to pause the story for a second so I can ask you guys a question. Have you ever had someone sidle up to you, like actually crab walk sideways and then kinda slide the last 2 steps up to you? Well, if you haven't, let me tell you, it's just as weird and off-putting as you're imagining. I bring this up only because that's the thing I think about whenever someone mentions Kevin. For story purposes, you guys should know something about Kevin. I don't have enough characters in this subreddit to do his existence justice, so I will give you a basic synopsis. This guy was something else. I'll qualify that statement by saying he once got stranded for 4 years in Brazil after falling out with his prison pen pal girlfriend. And before you ask why a Brazilian would write to an American inmate, I'll explain that he wasn't the ex-con. She was. He found her through the back pages of some magazine. The story of how Kevin learned about long-distance telephone charges goes here, but I'll save that for another time. When this girl finally kicked him out of her house, something to do with identity theft, smuggling, and exotic parrots, Kevin attempted to force the American government to send his broke ass back to the United States by literally lying on the street outside of the embassy and wailing like a banshee on bath salts. As you can see, Kevin wasn't the sharpest of tacks. Sorry for the interruption, I just needed to make sure you guys understood a little something about Kevin before I continued telling this tale. So, back to the story. It was about 10 PM and we just finished reconciling with the inventory accounts for the last time. Done. Finally. While it did turn out to be an excellent inventory, it was particularly long and grueling and we were all exhausted and hungry by the end of it. My boss, being awesome, decided to celebrate by picking up a bunch of beer and pizzas and inviting us all back to his house. This is technically where the actual story starts, because this is where Kevin sidled up to me in the parking lot and asked me if I wanted to go with him real quick to pick up a bag of coke. I guess I'm not the sharpest of tacks either, because I agreed to go. I had a car, but Kevin insisted on driving. This was a problem because Kevin drove a busted-ass 1976 Lincoln Continental. It was probably a beautiful example of American automotive engineering in its day, with its original deep dark green paint job and flippy headlights, but now it was decrepit. The seats were sticky where they weren't threadbare, and the exterior was a veritable museum of failed cosmetic repairs. This thing was covered in primer, missing all but one of its hubcaps, and the glove box oozed some vile amalgamation of spilled coffee and shea butter, because, you see, Kevin had a skin condition. The car smelled just awful, like a dead squirrel filled with old Arby's and whipped cream and then left to rot in the tropical sun. If I'm being honest here, I rather appreciated the shea butter and coffee. In that car, the ooze was a feature. Standing there in the pale, washed-out light of the Radio Shack sign, I weighed my options and made my decision. I laid an old hoodie strategically over the passenger seat and climbed in. After all, free drugs was always worth a bit of hardship, right? Wrong. After a surprisingly uneventful drive, we got to his friend's place. He went inside, and when he came out, he was bouncing and armed with a huge 8-ball. His guy really did him right. The very sight of this thing made me super excited to get back to my boss's house, so we could get down to some serious hoovering. Kevin put the car in gear and began to talk. I was ignoring this as irrelevant, absorbed in my own thoughts, when all of a sudden Kevin hit a trash can. Because I wasn't sure if the hit was intentional, I glanced over. Uh-oh. Kevin was bent over, sweating and bug-eyed, fidgeting with the radio and simultaneously glancing back and forth between the rearview mirror and the side mirrors. Worried, I sat in watchful silence as he navigated his way out of the neighborhood. His conversation never faltered, even when we dinged a mailbox. Damn. Oh, with a sinking feeling, I realized that his gills were way past geeked. It was now around 11:30 and traffic had begun thinning out. His driving had deteriorated exponentially since leaving his friend's place, and I was only just then coming to terms with the fact that the reward, fat though it was, might not be worth the imminent disaster I could see barreling down upon me. I knew then that this night was going to end badly. Something was going to happen. Something bad. My mind raced. Shit. We've got drugs. Kevin is driving. Kevin is driving this car. Fuck. Fuck! The vehicle is obviously held together by a combination of prayer, spray foam, and Bondo. Also, he's got no registration and an expired license. I know all of this because Kevin told me after we left with the coke. Kevin told me a lot of things during that drive. He answered a lot of questions about himself that I never asked. In fact, Kevin was so deep in cocaine conversation that he missed a critical turn on the main highway. Upon realizing that he missed this turn, he waited for the next intersection and, against my desperate protestations, immediately cut across 3 lanes of traffic and slung that huge boat of a car around in a U-turn. While rather graceful, the move was illegal, and there was an unmarked police car behind us. Oh, I freaked out. Then when the cop lit up his lights, I freaked out again, this time out loud. "You fucking moron!" I yelled. Kevin pulled over, except Kevin didn't pull over to his right like normal people do. No, he pulled over to his left, into a turn lane. The cop pulled up behind us and waited, probably confused. I think it was this confusion that saved me. I say me instead of we, because at this moment, Kevin decided that he had it all under control. If I remember the sequence of events correctly, and I will never forget what I witnessed in those few moments, Kevin winked at me and then proceeded to pull the Coke bag out of his pocket and empty it into his mouth. Then started chewing. I should tell you this was a solid 3.7-ish grams of yellow flake cocaine, hard as rock and uncut. It was huge. I sat awed and mesmerized at the scene unfolding before me. The red and blue lights flashing into the interior of the car made the whole thing even more surreal. All I could think was, oh my god, he's eating it. He's eating it. He's eating a whole 8-ball of blow. Wait, he's the driver! Instantly frightened and struggling to overpower the creeping sense of horror shivering up my spine, I screamed at him, something along the lines of, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot?" And that's the exact moment when Kevin realized he had royally fucked up. Generally, when one gets pulled over by the police, they expect a coherent response, even in South Florida. He flung the car door open and dashed into the night. I can only imagine the consternation of the police officer behind us as Kevin abandoned his car and bounded away into a neighborhood. I sat frozen in the passenger seat, amazed and stunned, as the cop car behind me disengaged and took off down the side street after him. To this day, I do not know if there was only one officer in that police car, or if she was operating under some regulation that made a driver more important than a passenger. It may have been that I was a small chick in a huge car, and was therefore camouflaged against the seat. I just don't know. All I do know is that Kevin was gone, the cop was gone, and I was sitting in a running vehicle in the middle of the road. Yeah, I took off. In what I can only describe as a semi-fugue state, I drove Kevin's car back to the Radio Shack. After dropping off his car and getting mine, I drove to my boss's place, determined to get my fair share of pizza and beer in recompense for this fiasco of a night, and also to inform my boss that he would have to open the store tomorrow because Kevin is most likely not going to make it in on time. I was regaling everyone with the story of just why he wouldn't make it when the front door banged open and Kevin stumbled in. I'm not exaggerating when I say it was like one of those old West saloon scenes. You know, the ones where the whole place quiets when the hero enters? Just like that, except instead of a hero gliding, it was Kevin flopping. He was soaking wet and disheveled, wild-eyed. He was completely out of breath and his shirt was missing. His exposed torso and arms were crisscrossed with deep scratches and abrasions. He looked like he'd been in the fight of his life. We all must have been staring at him in silent astonishment. I know that I was. Kevin squished into the room and collapsed wetly into a chair. In a garbled voice, he asked me if I had his car keys, and then, relieved with my answer, he motioned for a beer. Turns out that he did manage to successfully evade the cops that night, and at the last moment, he found a drainage canal and jumped in. Fortunately, this saved him from arrest, but unfortunately, he wasn't alone in the canal. According to Kevin, an alligator chased him through a bunch of thorny brush out of the water and then up into a yard. He said he was terrified almost to death but couldn't scream for help because his mouth was frozen from the coke. He barely escaped with his life. Now, when it comes to this last part of the story, I don't know how much is actually true. However, I do know that I saw that man literally chow down in close to 4 grams of rocked up pure Peruvian Martian powder before frickin' swallowing it. Then I saw that same dude evade the police by vanishing into the dark like some kind of overweight Hungarian Zorro before reappearing triumphant and unscathed hours later. Based on this, I chose to believe him about the alligator. Either way, it was a night to remember. And that, my friends, is the stupid story of Kevin and the Coke. I'm sorry you read this. Well, I mean, it goes without saying, but don't do drugs. That was an adventure from start to finish. I mean, just bloody hell, that was something. Oh my god. Yeah, Florida sounds about right, doesn't it? Well, that sounds like it would have definitely been a night to remember. just a normal Wednesday in Florida. It's just like no words. Like, how do you even add to that? That's just, oh my god. No. Jesus Christ. Don't be Kevin. Hello, Ghosty. Welcome, and you're alright. What comes first? Hi, Ass. Hello, Sleepy. Hi, Lavinia. Hi, guys. How are you? Season run probably jump in a storage trying to fight alligator. That really is it, isn't it? It is the most, like, first-person Florida man experience I've read in a while. That Kevin right there, that was a Florida man. Thank you for the hydrate, Lavinia. Num num. Oh my god. I thought people were wrestling cocks were fake. But you'd be surprised. That's not a Kevin, that's a Chad. Oh my god. Alrighty. The next story is simply titled, Kevin thinks he can speak every language in the world. I used to work with a guy named Kevin who was convinced that he could speak every language in the world. He was always bragging about how he could converse with anyone in their native tongue, no matter where they were from. Well, one day we were at a work event and a group of foreign colleagues came to visit. Kevin immediately jumped up and started speaking to them in what he claimed was their language. But the look of confusion on their faces told a different story. It turned out that Kevin had just been speaking gibberish, mixing random words and sounds together in a bizarre attempt at speaking their language. He had no idea what he was saying, but he was convinced that he was impressing them. To make matters worse, Kevin started insisting that the foreigners were the ones who didn't understand their own language properly, and he even tried to correct them on their pronunciation and grammar. Needless to say, the rest of us were cringing and trying to distance ourselves from Kevin's embarrassing behavior. It was hard to believe that someone could be so clueless, yet so confident at the same time. From then on, Kevin's delusions of linguistic grandeur became a running joke among our team. We also learned to be more careful about taking him at his word when it came to anything else. Buddy, no! That smooth brain, man. Oh, you could put that into a gem shining competition and win, because that brain's smooth as fuck, buddy. Oh my god. Oh, buddy, no. That's not how it works. I think language Kevin and DNA Kevin would get along real well. Oh no! Yeah, it's just that moment you just gotta sit there with your head in your hands, just questioning humanity. Hello, Sir Sorrel. Oh, that's totally fine. Well, in that case, I hope you have fun with 𝐄𝐕𝐓𝐮𝐞𝐫. And it's lovely to see you. His brain cells spoke a different language. Oh my god. Kevin's brain would still be smoother. This right here. Oh my god, lads. Yeah. This right here this is why we haven't found Alien Live, because they've seen this shit and gone, I'm not fucking with that. Hi, Dread. Oh my god. They just blow out the souls and they're like, nah. Alrighty. Very homey. Okie dokie. We could have had aliens, but Kevin's came first. These motherfuckers have no human survival skills. Well, speaking of survival skills, this one's simply titled, Kevin Sends Someone to the Hospital. So I have a friend who is kind of a Kevin. He's super nice, a really good person, but he can be a Kevin. He once nearly burned down his apartment because he made a fire in the fireplace. He also likes to play pranks. Not unfunny, mean pranks, but fun, light-hearted pranks, like putting onion powder on hot hostess donuts and giving us to them, or giving us water with lime juice in it. A little while ago, me and some other friends were at Kevin's house for video games. On the coffee table, there's a bowl of Skittles. Seems innocent enough, right? Well, Kevin decided it would be fun to mix M&Ms into the bowl. Just a fun little joke, right? Well, one of my friends is allergic to peanuts, and Kevin's favourite ones are the peanut M&Ms. Kevin forgot she was allergic, as it hadn't come up super often, but long story short, before we know there are M&Ms mixed in the bowl, that friend eats a handful and goes into anaphylactic shock. They end up going to the hospital, and Kevin has since apologised profusely. He was so upset at himself for this, and he is helping pay for the medical bills as an apology. So yes, I guess moral is don't put food pranks on people with allergies. Hello, Meatball Lover 90. Thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Thank you, and welcome. This is kind of like, it's like a wholesome Kevin. Like, it's definitely a Kevin moment. Like, this is a smooth brain. But, like, at least, like, you know, he was helping pay for the medical bills and all of that. So, like, it clearly wasn't intentional, but, like, boy, double check that shit. Yeah. You've got to keep your eye out. There could be... Yeah, this Kevin might be out of line. Oh my god. Alright. Oh no, oh my god, no. It's like your brain may be smooth, but you gonna murder me, goddamn. Yeah, oh my god. Alrighty. Now the next one is, well, it's simply titled, Kevina Gets Her Paycheck Ripped from Her Hands. We have a female Kevin. After all, Kevinitis is an equal opportunity employer. The Kevin is everywhere. Alright. Kevina is in the same online hobby community as me. She's 27. It's a small community, so word gets around fast. So I woke up to a post of her asking for donations because the state royally screwed her over, and she was $71 in the hole. Of course, courtesy of her public Instagram post the day before, we know what actually happened. Kevina had started a new job. She got a paycheck of $400 earlier than she expected, and it was in someone else's name. She cashed it anyway, and spent it on anime merchandise, phone bills, etc. Then this week, she got her actual first paycheck, as well as another paycheck for the other person. She decides to tell her boss about this in the last paycheck, and is surprised when the funds are reversed out of her account. Even her parents said she shouldn't have spent someone else's money, and she still claims that she shouldn't have been punished for telling the truth, or that the funds shouldn't have been removed all at once. I got my paycheck ripped from my hands and I want to go home. Girl, it wasn't your paycheck. The part that makes this double stupid is that she openly posted all of this and still wants people to donate to her since she believes that it wasn't her fault. What did she expect to happen? By the way, apparently she blamed the state because she works for the state government, which makes this story worse on so many levels. Oh my god, if you get a check and it doesn't have your name on it, it's not yours. I'm surprised the bank let her cash it, to be honest. Oh my god. Yeah, it's not even a Kevin, that's just a dumbass. Oh my god. Like, honestly, like, clearly that cashier at the bank was a bloody Kevin as well. God damn. Alrighty. I don't know if that bakery attendant was a Kevina or was trolling me. I went to the local bakery to buy some bread. Well, more like a lot of bread. I carried my full tray of bread to the bakery attendant in order to get it bagged and pay. So I go to the desk, and the attendant smiles and looks straight at me and then asks, "Good evening, do you want a paper bag or a plastic bag?" "A paper bag, please." Without breaking eye contact, she tells me, "I'm sorry, we don't have any paper bags. I'll have to use a plastic bag." Okay, no problem. Do you want your whole order in a big plastic bag, or several small bags? In one big bag, please." Again, without looking away, she says, "I'm sorry, we only have small plastic bags. I'll pack your order into several small bags." I didn't say anything, I just paid and left, but internally I was screaming, If you only have small plastic bags, why'd you ask me twice what kind of bag I wanted?" Honestly, that could... that's some, like, AI-ass responses right there. Oh my god, like, that bakery assistant dead ass went NPC mode. That is, like, that's some NPC shit right there. "Would you like a paper bag or a plastic bag?" "Paper bag." Checking the system. "Unfortunately, we are out of paper bags. I'll have to use a plastic bag. Would you like a big bag or a small bag?" A big bag?" "I'm sorry, we are out of big bags. I'll have to use a small bag. Error. Rebooting." Clearly she had just, like, turned her brain off at work. "Hello Nova, hello Raiders, welcome. I hope your stream was wonderful. We are reading stories about Kevin tonight. Hard reset required." Oh, she was offline. Top comment. "Autopilot. Employee is dead inside and doesn't want to deviate from the script because it uses too much energy." Yeah, straight up. That she's just on autopilot. Her body is there, but her brain is in bed. That's not a Kevin. That's a retail worker. Oh my god. Oh no. But I mean, I hope you had a great stream regardless. "There are critical empathy files missing, referring to pre-programmed script." Error. Don't get paid enough to activate empathy files. Basic script enacting. Oh my god. Okay. Now, as a warning, I will do my best to at least, like, censor this, but essentially it'll be a little crass. So I will use alternate words in the particularly crass parts, but, like, the picture being painted will be slightly haunting regardless. "Thank you for the care package, dear Ran." Alright, first I have my stretch up over the head. Yeah. And my hydrate. Thank you. Alrighty. Now, Kevin tries to improve his poor sex appeal, but his knob falls off. Note, this was originally published in the 1988 Darwin Awards under the name Priapism Takes a Penis, and was confirmed to be true after the incident was passed by JAMA. Doctors warn of a dangerous new method of cocaine abuse, injecting the drug directly into the urinary tract. Physicians from New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center reported the case of a 34-year-old man who suffered severe bleeding under the skin after pumping cocaine directly into his urethra. It led to complications that destroyed his knob, 9 fingers, and part of his legs. They fill an eyedropper or a syringe with a cocaine solution and inject it directly into the knob, said Dr. Samuel Parry, a professor of clinical psychiatry. The man had injected cocaine before intercourse in an effort to enhance his bedtime performance. He was admitted to the hospital because his knob had remained erect for 3 days, resulting in a painful inability to go to the bathroom. The medical term for a prolonged boner is a priapism. On his 3rd day in the hospital, the man's boner suddenly subsided. Over the next 12 hours, there was some leakage into the tissues of his feet, hands, genitals, back, and chest. It caused a large degree of tissue death, which essentially resulted in being transferred to the burn unit of New York Hospital Cornell's Medical Center. The doctors were then forced to remove the man's legs above the knee, all but one of his fingers, and to stop the spread. And during the procedure, his bits fell off by themselves. The man is currently in recovery in a rehabilitation facility. Men who inject cocaine into the knob report that it gives them a high in the bedroom. Drug abuse treatment experts have previously reported external use of cocaine as a stimulant. Powder is rubbed onto the surface of the organs by both men and women in an effort to halt premature shooting and improve the sensations. So basically, TLDR is Kevin injected cocaine into the tip of his knob, he got a 3-day erection, and then his knob, in fact, fell off. Don't do drugs, kids! I mean, damn, like, I'll say one thing about these stories, like, drugs are already incredibly unappealing as they are, but these stories make them a hell of a lot worse. Who the fuck? What? What stretch of the imagination to be like, oh yeah? This'll definitely go. I mean, yeah, like, the science of it's actually quite fascinating, and I'm not surprised it made its way into the Darwin Awards. Oh my god. Alrighty. Now. Courier Kevin will die on the Code Hill. A few days back, I used one of those courier apps. I type in my info and the delivery address, wait for the guy or girl to come pick up my package. They're usually friendly and efficient, no issues, until now. But this time though, Kevin shows up. First sign of trouble, he calls my phone. That's never happened before. Hi, I'm Kevin from X Delivery. I'm at your door. Brackets, he most certainly isn't, since that would have required me to buzz him in to access my floor. Nevertheless, I humour him. Hi Kevin, did you follow someone in? I look through my peephole and as expected, there's no one in sight. No, I'm here. Open please. I hear an aggravated lady through the phone say, tell them it's the wrong door. Kevin? Yes? Where are you? I'm at your door. No, Kevin. I'm at my door. You are not. Have you checked the address? Kevin hangs up and then proceeds to call again. Ma'am, open please. I'm at your door. At this point, the woman at the other end is threatening to call the police. Kevin, please leave that poor woman alone. Walk out and find the right building. It is at X address, X road. I don't need to check the building. I used the entry code. The door opened, so it's the right building. Kevin, I'm now in my building's hallway and you are not. So clearly you're in the wrong building. I'm telling you you're wrong. The woman you've been bothering you is telling you that you're wrong, and I'm not having this conversation all day. Especially considering I'm freezing my butt off, coatless, in my slippers, and gradually losing my compassionate adult veneer. Kevin hangs up and then calls back again. Kevin? Yes? I swear to God, if you hang up on me one more time, this won't end well. Now I want you to listen to me very careful. Are you listening? Yes. Good. Tell me, are you on XYZ Street? Yes. Lovely. Please walk out of that building and stand on the sidewalk. I'll find you. I look out and spot Kevin 2 buildings up the road. He was easy enough to find. The company dress code is bright red. Cue extra negotiations to get him to walk to me. Remember, I'm still in slippers, no coat on. Kevin finally reaches me, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "Why does that building have the same entry code as yours?" How would I know, Kevin? I don't live there. But 2 buildings can't have the same entry code. That makes no sense. You know what makes no sense? It's you insisting that I should know what goes on over there in a building I do not live in. I do not live in. He stares at me for a few seconds, then mumbles, "Sorry I wasted your time." I did ask him if he could handle this delivery, and he declared he was fine now. And that is by far the most bizarre Kevin encounter I've had to date. Why did you give him your package? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately we don't allow links to be shared in chat. Only mods can share links. Oh my god. Yeah, like, I think the worst part of this one is definitely the fact that he doubled down. Easily the worst part is the fact he was doubling down about, like, no, I'm definitely at your place. Like, no, you were not. And you've got a lady in the background being like, I'm gonna call the police, fuck off. Like, dude, everyone is telling you you're at the wrong address. Don't just insist you are. You don't know where you are, that's the issue. Oh, that is a smooth brain Kevin right there. Oh my god. Oh, and apparently, Kevin's gonna be hella dumb, am I right? This sign won't stop me because I can't read. It's like someone's actually responded to this with a Kevin story, a mini one, going, "Oh, I'm reminded of a Kevina encounter I encountered a few years back, who insisted I was working at a store I was in wrong after telling me off for ignoring her. I told her I didn't work there about 5 different ways. She insisted that I did work there, finally told me to follow her to the desk. I did because I was an easily cowed teenager, and she told the manager to write me up. Whereupon the manager also told her I didn't work there. Well, why are you even here then?" she said, and that was when I responded, looking her in the eye and saying, "Ma'am, it's a bookstore. I am here to buy books." Hello, Caspia16. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you, and welcome. Welcome, Dragon. How you doing? Oh, I mean, if himbos have got your heart thumping, then this here is the subreddit for you, dear friend. Ma'am, this isn't Wendy's. It's like, ma'am, I am just here to buy books. Like... Yeah, the tolerably dumb ones. Like, you don't want a Kevin, but like you want a little bit of smoothness, you know? Like, I want smooth, but I don't want a mirror. Oh my god. Okay, this one is titled, "Kevin Misses Total Solar Eclipse in a Car Wash." It's a cow farm, of course there's cows outside. Back in 2017, a lot of the USA got to see a total solar eclipse. At every location, totality only lasted for a couple of minutes, so it was a huge deal. There hadn't been a mainland US total eclipse for decades. The Kevin in this story is my dad, who took me and my brother, I was 13 then, my brother was 8, to see the eclipse with a big crowd in the middle of Nebraska. Everyone was standing around waiting, but my dad insisted the eclipse was an hour later because of daylight savings time not working on an eclipse. Why would they want to save daylight when the moon is in front of it? This is in spite of the 200 people gathered in the middle of this grungy small city large town to watch. Kevin says he's going to buy potato chips at the gas station nearby. I figure this is okay. Worst case, if he doesn't get back in time, he'll watch from his car. An hour later, totality is over, and everyone gets ready to leave. Papa Kevin comes back, and it's the first time I've ever seen him cry. He explained he got a car wash and missed it. Well, there's another eclipse next year, and Kevin says this time he's taking the bike. Sweet poor Papa Kevin. That's not how daylight savings works. Oh, his logic was flawed. Oh no. Oh no. Hang in there, Papa Kevin. Oh my god. Alright. Kevin sounds so sweet. He did. It's like, oh, you poor sweet bean. Poor sweet bean. At least the kids got to see it. Alrighty. So. Daylight savings is just us changing our clocks because we want more daytime. It's got nothing to do with science. It's just because some places can't handle the sun being up at 6 a.m. That's daylight savings. It's a pure human concept. It doesn't change because there's an eclipse. Oh my god. Alrighty. Kevin, the inept felon, runs from police and loses something more than his freedom. And not for the first time. Oh dear. Came across this subreddit and I remembered a story from long ago. This occurred in 1997. I was a news photographer, video, not still, for over 20 years. The majority of that was at a TV station with a large-sized city. I'd been in this place less than a year, so I was working weekends. On a Sunday morning, I was heading to work, noticing that it had rained earlier that morning because of all the puddles of water around. The city was a ghost town on Sundays, so I expected it to be somewhat slow until a reporter came in later to come up with a story. I walked into the newsroom, which at the time was only occupied by the guy running the assignment desk, RK. I was about to take off my jacket and get some more videotapes for my camera when RK told me not to get too comfortable. He had to send me out right away. What's going on? I asked. I'm not sure. Police Watch Command called us and said they had a story. You're kidding, I said. For context, whoever is working the assignment desk in the morning has a daily ritual of calling up the local police and fire departments to see if anything had happened overnight. If it was a slow night, they would just say no and we would move down the list to the next one. If something did happen, they'd let us know then. They never called to say they had a story for us. RK told me that the police sergeant was waiting for me at an intersection about 4 blocks away. So I grabbed some tapes and drove over there, not knowing what to expect. The area I went to was an older part of town that had a few railroad tracks crisscrossing where freight trains would normally pass through. The sergeant sees me pull up, and he gets out of his car, walking up to me with a smirk on his face. I walked up to him with all my camera gear and asked him what's going on. He says, "Let's just start the interview, and I'll tell you." Weird. Usually I try to get an idea of what's going on before I start an interview, but whatever. I go through the motions of clipping a microphone on his tie and getting him into a position so the lighting looks good, asking him on camera his name, spelling and rank. Okay, I ask, what's going on? And the sergeant proceeds to tell me the tale of Kevin, the inept felon. Earlier that morning, Kevin had been driving around looking for somebody to rob to support whatever bad habit he had at the time. It was an older part of town, but still had nice homes in it, so not a bad neighborhood at all. After a while, he finally spotted 3 men walking down the sidewalk. He parked his car and ran up to them. He had a metal tool in the pocket of his jacket, I think it was part of an old steering wheel club, that he was pointing at them through the pocket to make it look like he was armed and told them he wanted their cash. Judging by his appearance, they thought he was homeless and started digging around for any loose change. The first guy didn't have anything. The second had a 10 spot. Kevin realized he wasn't making himself clear, so he motioned with his gun at them to let them know he meant business. The third guy finally clued in what was going on, so he pulled out his very real gun and pointed it at Kevin. As I was being told this story, I imagined Kevin's eyes bugging out of his head a la Looney Tunes at this point. Realizing he's outgunned, Kevin pulls out his gun and takes a couple of swings at the men before sprinting back to his car. The three men manage to get a plate number before he drives off. They call the police with the plate and a description of Kevin. The car comes back as stolen, and the police put out a bolo for Kevin in the car. A patrol officer in the area heard it and thought it sounded like Kevin, since he was a frequent flyer in the back of cop cars. He decided to head down to a popular park downtown that was frequented by criminals, druggies, and other riffraff. Upon approaching the park, he sees parked along the curb the vehicle in question. And there's Kevin standing next to it, talking to some of his ne'er-do-well friends. Kevin notices the cop approaching and makes a beeline for his ill-gotten car. They start a short chase around downtown. Fortunately, since it was Sunday morning, downtown was deserted. They eventually end up at the place where I am conducting the interview. Unfortunately for Kevin, there is a slow-moving train going through the intersection and blocking his escape. Kevin, in his infinite wisdom, decides that the train is moving slow enough that he could easily jump in between the cars and get away. Believing he has enough of a lend on the cop, he abandons his vehicle and runs for the train. At the beginning of the story, I said I had noticed that it rained earlier in the morning. Apparently, Kevin didn't notice. As the pursuing officer was stopping his vehicle, Kevin was jumping in between two train cars, slipped on a wet coupling, flopped onto the street under the train, and loses his left leg above the knee. The cop stopped in his tracks, quickly spun around, and reached into his patrol car to grab his fistful of oversized zip ties police were using at the time as flexicuffs. He ran over to Kevin and made a tourniquet with them and around what was left of his thigh. He called it in an ambulance, and a fire truck showed up to stabilize Kevin and haul him off to the hospital. After the surgeon I'm interviewing finished his tale, I'm just standing there in a dead stare with my mouth open. After he confirmed he wasn't joking about the story, I asked him a couple of follow-up questions and unclipped the mic. I let him know I didn't need him anymore if he needs to go and asked him where exactly it happened. He points to the tracks ahead of us about 30 feet. I asked him if it was still bloody up there, and he said no. The fire department hosed away everything. I thank him for his time and get to work getting some B-roll. After shooting for a minute, wondering exactly where it happened, I noticed a bit of leg meat wedged in between the street and the train track that the fire department had missed. I got what I needed there and headed to the park where the officer spotted him, and into the neighborhood where he tried to hold up the three guys to get some additional video. I make it back to the station where RK asked me how it went. I sit down and tell him the tale of Kevin, the inept felon. His reaction was the same as mine. We both laughed about it for a minute, and he tells me about the next story I need to shoot. The rest of the day is rather slow. So slow, I'm told the story of Kevin is the lead for the 5 p.m. news. Back then, after we shot a story, we just handed it off to an editor, and that was the last I heard about it until news time. I eventually go back to the train tracks to meet up with the reporter for the live shots. We talk briefly about the shot he wants for the background and chuckle about Kevin's misfortune. 5 o'clock hits and the anchor in the newsroom throws it to the reporter. He gives a brief intro about Kevin's adventure and throws it into the package. Pre-recorded story with the reporter's voice track on top of interviews and videos. I listen to it in my earpiece, waiting to cue the reporter when they throw it back to him on camera. Since someone else edited the story, I missed out on one last bit of information. The reporter explains on camera that this was not the first time Kevin's own actions resulted in an injury. 2 years earlier, Kevin and another man got into a physical argument involving a shotgun. They were trying to wrestle it from one another until the muzzle gets pointed downward and blammo! Kevin blows his right foot off. As reporter says this over the air, I start saying, "What?" Halfway through, I instinctively slap my hand over my mouth. I never did go back to look at the air check, but I'm sure it made it on the air. He throws it back to the newsroom, and the director clears us. My reporter starts taking off his mic and earpiece and notices him staring with my notices I'm just staring at him with my mouth open once again. "What?" he asks. "Let me get this straight," I say. "So not only is this guy, through his own fault, missing his leg, but now he just doesn't have any feet?" "Yep," he says. "Some people's kids." TLDR, after a failed robbery attempt, a man runs from police and winds up losing his leg. Comes to find out a couple of years earlier, he got into a fight over a shotgun and shot his other foot off. I guess you could say this Kevin has been defeated. Oh no. Outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned, outlegged. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that was a classic case of not thinking. Slightly light-footed now. Oh no. Oh my god. Alrighty. So this next one is less a story and more just a list of dot points. And it starts with, my friend's boyfriend is an absolute Kevin. I'll call my friend C. I love C more than anything. I'd sell my working kidney for her. But her boyfriend Kevin, well, here you go. 1. He's a ghetto kid with the sagging pants, loud music you can hear through his headphones, calling everyone either a biatch or a see you next Tuesday. He thinks the earth is flat and wasted class time trying to say the earth was flat during science, because if it was round, then why is the ground flat? When watching CNN with the whole North Korea and Russia stuff, he said, how do they talk to each other if they only know Japanese and German? He thought Alexander Hamilton was a composer. C was on her period, and when she left to go to the bathroom, he said, why don't you just pee now? You have a pad. He thought bats were birds. While we were reading a book, the word Fortnite came up, and he genuinely thought that it was a reference to the game Fortnite. He thought that Mexico was in Canada, and he is Mexican. He apparently thinks gumbo is made of actual gum, and he thinks all planets are rocks. No. Oh no. How is this man alive? He thinks he's Canadian. Oh my god, what? Like, oh man, like that brain is not there. That is an empty cabin with a marble flinging around. Yep. Oh my god, no, is that the earth is flat, the earth ain't round, just look at your feet down on the ground. Like, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. It's kind of like, do they not understand, like, how Horizon works? Mama goes, thunk, thunk, thunk. Yeah. I don't live on the North American continent anymore. Oh, I think he has. Oh, your wheel's turning, but the hamster's dead. Oh, no. Honestly, Ren, that's the bit where I was like, oh, man, ouch. That brain's so slip and slide, you gotta be careful not to wear socks, otherwise you're gonna go flying too. Oh my god. Alrighty. This next one is simply titled, Chemistry Student Outs Himself. Most Kevin stories involving chemistry labs are more spectacular than this one, but also harder to explain. As a chemistry grad student at a moderately prestigious university, I, like most of my colleagues, spent a few hours a week as a lab TA for the first year students. I preferred doing the lab for students who were taking the unriched course. This gave a bit more depth than the regular course and was intended for students who had a real interest in the subject. Unfortunately, a lot of the students were really just after a flashy item for their transcripts towards getting into something like medical school. They tended to think that they deserved a good grade, because 1, they were at a moderately prestigious university, and 2, they were taking the enriched course, and 3, they were expecting to go to med school. To quote one, I don't need to cheat, I'm a med student at university. This despite having been caught red-handed and not yet being anywhere near med school. By any standard, a lot of these kids were pretty mediocre at best. One such student tried to hand a lab report in late, despite their having been told that the deadline was inflexible. Late report equals no report. He claimed that he'd been granted permission by the lab coordinator. I checked with her to be sure, and to my lack of surprise, was told that that was bullshit. I chucked it back to the guy with a big fat 0 on a red pen written on the front page, and a warning not to try anything like that again. But this guy seemed to be more than usually clueless. A few weeks after that, the students were working on a module on shapes and symmetry of molecules. They were building models using chemical tints.
Aether darling, your mic is dying.
Oh no! Oh my god, really? For Christ's sake. Alright, give me a moment, Okay, I've reset the mic. Right, filters, and... Alright, going like this. Alright, so my voice is buzzing with the interference. Or is it still going? Is it still going? Oh my god, OBS, what are you doing? Alright, there we go. Alright. Alright. So, I've unmuted it. Okay, so it was still there even with the mic up. So let me briefly mute. Okay, yeah, I can see it. It is definitely an OBS issue. Give me a quick moment. I guess I'll keep the music playing just for entertainment purposes. Okie dokie, so I've done the old plug it in, unplug it kind of deal. Alright, OBS mic interference. Yeah, that's very strange, I mean, at least it sounds decent now. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to fight it a bit. OBS, why you do this? Why you do it so dirty? Oh my god. At least it's back now. Oh my god, honestly. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can jiggle stuff around, but let me know if it starts popping up again. Because it's it's definitely even when the mic is muted, it's still doing it, which is really weird. It's okay, it can't be the mic. The mic is muted right now, which is not picking up noise. Oh my god. Alright, at least it's good now. Oh my god, I swear, the scuff is really coming for me. Nonsense, honestly, I appreciate you guys being hey, dude, the scuff is happening, it's happening, because it's the more we can kind of figure out when it's happening and what's happening, the better. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just gonna have to do some deep hunting on the net. hunting on Reddit, let's be honest, because Google's pretty awful these days. Now, back to the story of chemistry, Kevin. Alrighty. A few weeks after that, the students were working on a module of shapes and symmetry of molecules. They were building models using chemical tinker tools. Balls and sticks to represent atoms and bonds. They were supposed to be learning about the three-dimensional structures, comparing them to their mirror images and seeing what happened if parts were rotated. Because some people have trouble understanding these concepts, the students were allowed to work in larger groups than the usual lab partner pairs. But this guy was by himself, and appeared to just be sticking the balls and sticks together randomly, playing with the tinker toys rather than working on the module. It would have been okay if he'd been doing something related to chemical structure. I'd have encouraged creative thinking about the subject, but this was just kindergarten playing. So I thought I'd gently encourage him to get back on track. I came up to him, peered at his ball and stick structure, and looked pointedly at his open lab manual and looked again at his tinker toys. Then looked him in the eyes and asked, "So, what are you on?" He anxiously snapped back, "Nothing." I paused for a couple seconds, blinking and reprocessing the situation, then asked, "What exercise are you on?" "Oh, exercise 3. I just looked at him, shook my head and walked away. A couple of weeks after that, he disappeared from my lab section. I never saw him again, and I hope he didn't get into med school. Oh no, could you imagine Dr. Kevin? He'd be like, no. Oh my god. Yep. Kevin reminded, this Kevin made it to uni. Goes to say that, like, your level of study does not generally indicate your level of intelligence. It just means you're good at memorizing shit and passing tests. Hello, dear Equinox. How are you? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you're right, Lass. Okie dokie. Now this next one is simply titled Lunchtime Kevin. I have only just found this sub and have been reading many stories, thinking, wow, this sounds exactly like my ex. For you see, many years ago, I was engaged to a Kevin. We'd just purchased our first home and money was tight. We sat down together to try and find areas where we could save some money. One of our biggest expenses was buying lunch while at work. He was spending close to $20 a day on lunch, and I was spending nearly the same. We decided that I would prepare lunches for each of us to take to work. I purchased lunch bags and drink bottles, and then we planned the food. He asked for ham, cheese, and tomato sandwiches. I was purchasing chicken and beef for sandwiches and preparing small meals that I could put in the microwave. One thing to note, I am highly allergic to ham. Each morning I would get up, prepare my food, then I'd put my gloves on, prepare Kevin's food, and pack it for him, and he would take it for work. Every time I asked him what he wanted, or if he wanted some of the leftover roast chicken and veg for lunch, I would get a, "No thanks, just 2 ham, cheese, and tomato sandwiches." After a couple of months, I noticed that I had been putting more money into our savings, but Kevin didn't seem to be saving any extra. He was a mechanic and earned less money than me, so I thought that might be it. One day, when I had the day off from work, he rang me. He had left his medication at home. So I got it and drove down to his work. I walked into the workshop and Kevin wasn't there. And one of the other mechanics called out, "Oh look, it's Mrs. Ham, Cheese and Tomato." And then the mechanics all started laughing. I asked him, "What does that mean?" And he replies, "Oh, that's all Kevin ever brings for lunch." I said, "Yeah, that's all he ever asks for. I ask him every day and he only ever wants ham, cheese and tomato." The mechanic then proceeds to say that every day at lunchtime, Kevin opens up his lunch bag, says, "Not another fucking ham, cheese and tomato sandwich," throws it in the bin, and then walks to the shop to buy a burger, fries, some pie and a milkshake. Kevin then arrived holding his lunch, which he tried to hide when he saw me. I gave him his meds and then left. When I spoke to him at home that night, he explained he didn't want to hurt my feelings and not ask for money. I explained to him that I was spending a lot of money on his lunch and time to prepare it, and he said, "But you already are making your own lunch, so it's not like it costs more." I told him I was buying $20 worth of ham a week, which was 100% for him. That is $20 I could be saving from not buying it. He didn't understand and just kept saying, "But you're already making your own lunch, there was no extra cost." I stopped making him lunches after that. What a dick! Oh, fuck that guy. That guy's just a prick. I wouldn't call that a Kevin. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, he's the dickish Kevin. I would just call him a dickhead. That's just an asshole. That is just asshole behavior right there. Oh my god. Dude, fuck that guy. Oh my god. Honestly, if he really wanted bullshit sandwiches he was planning to toss anyway, he should have just asked for buttered bread. At least it wouldn't cause an allergic fucking reaction. Yeah, also you can just put on a show at your partner's expense. That is absolutely disgusting. I feel sorry for OP, honestly. Like, all she ever wanted, it seems like all she was doing was she was just making sandwiches to save them a bit of money. And she wasn't making him do anything. He was asking for the sandwich, and then he was basically slagging her off at work, going, stupid, giving me all these shit sandwiches, and then going to buy his lunch anyway, even though they had both agreed to save money for their wedding. She's not getting married to a post. I'm glad that he's her ex, honestly. Oh, you're playing Rune Factory 5. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with the game, but I do hope you're enjoying it. Oh my god. Yeah, someone needs to slap that bitch over the head. He deserved to get his ass broken up with. Dodged a bullet. Alrighty. The next one has got a spicy title. Hello, Commodore. And it is called My Teacher Almost Had Me Arrested. This happened a couple of years ago when I was in school for software engineering. One of my teachers, the 𝐄𝐫 of this story, accidentally left a USB stick in the classroom after our last lesson of the day. We didn't notice until an hour later because we were still playing games after class. When we left, we noticed it and decided to check what it was. We plugged it into one of the school computers, not going to risk our own laptops with a random USB drive, and noticed it was hers. It was completely full of grade sheets, old exams, and the answer keys. We unplugged it and tried to find her to give it back, but she'd already gone home. The next day, we found her and handed the drive back. A couple of days later on Christmas Eve, everyone involved received the following email. Dear Director of our university, I would like to let you know that my computer was hacked by the following students, all of our names, by means of stealing my USB drive and filling it with malware. Not only are they immediately suspended from my lessons, I would also like to know why I would not contact the police and have them arrested for cyber crimes. Kind regards, Mrs. 𝐄𝐕𝐓. So naturally everyone is freaking out, and that night I get no sleep because I don't know if it's Santa who's going to come down the chimney or a fucking FBI SWAT team there to arrest me. Eventually Christmas breaks over without us hearing anything else, and we go back to school. The director contacts us and sets up a meeting between everyone involved so we can talk it out. When we go to the meeting, we find that apparently the computer is now fine and she'll allow us back in her class. We still had questions like what happened, but those were ignored. It wasn't so much a meeting as just an announcement. Later, we found out that one of the other teachers took a look at the hacked computer and the USB drive and found nothing out of the ordinary. So we asked her what exactly happened to make her think we hacked her PC. She told him that she plugged in the USB drive and turned on her computer, but instead of Windows, it showed a blue screen with white text that read, "Your files have not been touched." That apparently scared her into turning off the PC and sending that email from her phone. The other teacher thought for a minute, then quickly Googled something before showing her a picture of, did it look like this? Yes, that's exactly it. What virus did they infect my computer with? It turns out that what she saw was part of a Windows update screen. So yeah, TLDR, I almost got arrested because my teacher received a Windows update. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Jesus fucking Christ! Damn, that being boomers, am I right? Oh my god, oh no. Letting this woman teach hydrate. Oh my god. Yeah, she should definitely, and the thing is as well, the key thing, the first sentence that really makes this worse than anything else is, this happened a couple of years ago when I was in school for software engineering. She's a software engineering teacher. Oh my fucking god. Fire her. If she can't identify a Windows update and she's working in software engineering, she lied on her fucking resume. Like, dude. Oh my god. I hope she's just communications, but like, oh. Yeah, I really hope they reviewed her credentials, because like, if you work in computers, you know what an update looks like. No, if you have a computer, you know what an update looks like. You don't even need to work in computers, you just need to use the computer more than like once every 6 months. Oh my fucking god, that hurts my soul. That hurts my soul. I mean, maybe. It's like, I can understand misreading it as a blue screen of death, but also, someone who works in computers would know what a blue screen of death looks like. And also the key was like, it said, your files have not been touched. Like, Google before accusing someone of a crime? Google? Oh my god. Alright. Now, this one is a case of self-reflection. It's the other side of the foot. This one is simply titled, I'm pretty sure I'm a Kevin. As I read through these, I sadly think of more ways that I'm a Kevin. A few examples of my idiocy. When I was 14, my brother and I went through the woods in our backyard to go to a playground in the neighboring neighborhood. He took the long way back, but I was too tired and I went back through the woods. A spider landed on me and I freaked out and thought that I was lost. I started crying and screaming help at the top of my lungs for 10 minutes. Finally, someone came out of their house and helped me. It was a man who lived 2 houses down from me. I was about 15 feet from the edge of the trees and literally 2 houses away. When I was 15, one of my friends made Kraft mac and cheese for me for the first time, and it was amazing. I wasn't good with the stove, but I found Easy Mac. I read the directions and still did not make it right. It was inevitable. Back to Staffers for me. When I was 16, my brother took me to dinner for his last night before going to college. We're sitting there eating dinner like normal teenagers when midnight, I dropped my food and said, wait, chickens don't have fingers? What the hell am I eating? Also at 16, I would get terribly drunk. Knowing I couldn't drive, I would have my 14-year-old friends drive my brand new car because they were too young to drink in my mind. The only thing they ever driven were golf carts around the country club. Somehow there were never any wrecks. 30 years old, my best friend of 2 years goes to the tanning bed so often that they offer her a job, and she starts working there. There's a bunch of skin cancer in my family, so I worry and want to talk to her. Jenny, you are like 8 shades past my pasty ass. Are you sure you need to keep tanning? And they respond, Kevin, you know I'm Mexican, right? No, I did not. First generation Mexican American. Like born in the US, but both parents were born and now are both back in Mexico. I just assumed she was bilingual because she was super smart. Just this Christmas I was wrapping gifts. My dog kept barking and pissing me off. I walked to the front of the house where she would normally be, and she wasn't there, and she stopped barking. I went back to rapping. She started barking again. I went to the back, and she wasn't there and quit barking. I once again went back to rapping. She started barking again. By now it had been 20 minutes, and she was pissing me off. I searched the whole damn house, and she was nowhere. Walking through the kitchen, a glimmer caught my eye. She was on the back porch. I have no idea how she got outside. There was no doors open, and she was inside when I started rapping. I was home alone, and every door was locked. She's not allowed outside alone because she runs away. The only way she got outside is by me, and to this day I have no recollection of doing this. That's all I've got for now. I've been a pretty big dumbass throughout the years. Now, this man can't be a Kevin. Because it feels like the one core thing you need to be a Kevin is to not know that you could be a Kevin. It's that whole case of like, the really stupid people are the ones who can't know that they're really stupid. Like, dumb people don't know they're dumb. So if you think you're dumb, you're not as dumb as you think you are. He may have been a former Kevin, but he's evolved. He's evolved. Live your best life, good sir. But honestly, like, chickens don't have fingers. What the hell am I eating? It's pretty funny. Oh my god. Alrighty. Kevin stole my homework. This happened while I was studying as a foreign exchange student in the US. I'm from South America, and as a teen I finished my studies in the US. Here in my country, we're taught to write in cursive. And I was surprised to learn that most people only wrote in non-cursive. I talked to my teachers, and most of them could understand just fine my calligraphy. I was in creative writing class, and we had to use some old notebooks to make some collages and the complete with a tiny story of our own. I had trouble finishing the class's activity during class time and asked to do it at home, so the teacher lended me some of the notebooks. I spent some time doing the work, and at the end decided to make a cover for my work in a funny Garfield strip that I found. I added my name in the cover, and the next day I added my work to the pile with the other works. Later in the week, the teacher asked to speak with me in private and told that a colleague of mine, that a collage of mine, that I haven't done his work, stole my work, ripped the cover off, and wrote his name. And she quickly realized he could not have done it, since I was the only student that wrote in cursive. Oh my god. Alright, dearest Dread, I will explain this one for the last time. Though, keep in mind as well, we do have to keep in comment, but with the subathon, it was a reward during the subathon that for the subathon only, I would half one of the redeem prices just throughout the subathon. And I left it on last stream, because I thought that would just be a nice thing to have it on during the duel as well. But at the end of the subathon, that was kind of, it went back to the original 500 points for the throwing things. Hello, SD, you having fun up there? Oh my god. Alrighty. Yeah, yeah, just throughout the subathon it was cheaper, but like now it's back up to good old 500. Oh my god. Asda's on top of the cupboard, so he's looking down upon me. Hello, buddy. Oh my god. I didn't notice. Yeah, no, it was always 500, but just through the subathon it was 250 for a bit. I mean, if I had it at 250, people would be throwing things at all the time. I like to keep it as like a special occasion, you know. Oh my god. Alrighty. Now. Oh yeah, so you've got a Kevin story of your own? Ooh, feel free to share it. Oh, we would definitely love to hear the tale of the Kevins in your life. Yeah, it's basically when I have Kevin moments, you can use it, but like I don't want it to be so cheap. It can be spammed basically. it's spam deterrent. Oh yeah, of course. Alrighty, let me open my next papers, because we gotta get ready for some more Kevin content. Alright, this next one is titled... Yeah, you do. This next one is titled, Kevin has an accident. Aw, thank you for the head pass. Oh, so mean. Oh my god. Alright, Kevin has an accident. I used to work at a company that proctored certification exams. One day, Kevin comes in, when I was covering the front desk at the time, and his mum drops him off. Wouldn't that be weird? But Kevin is pushing 40. Kevin checks in for some CompTIA exam, and everything's good. Around 20 minutes later, one of the other exam takers comes over to me and complains of a gnarly smell in the exam room. I go into the exam room, and sure enough, it smells terrible. I'm super confused because it gets cleaned every night, and I look around for the cause until I realize that Kevin has shit his pants. It's not subtle either. His pants are noticeably wet, and the smell is coming directly from his area. I'm not sure how to handle this, but decide being discreet is best. I lean over and softly say to him, "Sir, it appears there's been an issue. Can you come with me?" My plan is to get him out of the testing area, let him clean up, and maybe finish the exam in another room. Kevin refuses to budge. In fact, he doesn't even look away from his exam. I'm not sure what to do, so I go and find the CEO, small company, and we both go back in and discreetly try and get him to leave the area. Kevin refuses. After a couple of minutes, I'm over it, so I tell Kevin in a loud voice, "Sir, you've soiled yourself and you need to leave." Kevin's kinda shocked, so he finally leaves the exam. The CEO and I explain to him outside that he can retake the exam with no charge, but he needs to leave now. He says okay and asks to use the restroom while his ride, his mum, comes. We agree and let him go. His mum comes and picks him up. And he leaves. About 10 minutes after he leaves, someone in a class comes up and says, "You need to check the restroom." Sure enough, Kevin took his turn out of his pants and smeared it all over the bathroom. He then flushed his underwear in the stall, clogging everything. It took the poor custodial staff 45 minutes to clean up the exam room and the bathroom, and we had to comp everyone taking an exam at the time. Of course, because he was taking a proctored exam, we had Kevin's full info, and he was promptly banned from all testing centers in like 100 miles. Oh, Picasso, why? Oh no! Oh no! Why you got a Picasso, buddy? Why? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I hope he never gets let into an exam center again. Yeah, like, dude, the shit art form, literally. Oh my god. I mean, that's beyond a Kevin. Picasso Kevin. Alrighty. This next one is titled, My Father, Kevin. The one Kevin you'll never forget. My dad is the Kevin in this tale, and my mum, the Kevin handler. Much of my childhood was my mum explaining, often in a futile effort, why Kevin's ludicrous plans didn't make sense. Now, some of these are secondhand stories that I know are true. There's a bit of a Kevin expanded universe of stories about dumb things he's done, mostly from my mum and uncle, Kevin's brother. But I will only include the ones that I have some confidence are true. Even so, I think this Kevin gives the OG a run for his money. Kevin met my mum in high school through an in-school suspension, which seems like a good place to start our story. If your school didn't have it, an in-school suspension is basically being sent to the principal for an entire day. It's in between detention and real suspension. Even I got a few. Now, Kevin had been sent to the principal after blowing a centrifuge while fucking around in a science class lab. My mum had been sent there for smoking. As Kevin got up to leave for the day after serving his suspension, he stumbled and put his fist through the principal's computer screen. This was 1999, so needless to say this wasn't a cheap fix. Not was it cheap to fix a hand that went through an old computer monitor. Anyway, for whatever reason, my mum became friends with him that day and eventually married him. Without further ado, let's get to some great all-time Kevin moments. Kevin decided to buy a grill for the house and grill some beef on it. Unfortunately, he bought ground beef and couldn't figure out how to make it stick together. So he just threw the tiny crumbled pieces into the grill where they burn. In a fit of rage, he threw the grill and set the lawn on fire. And that's right, he couldn't make literal ground beef stick together. Kevin's second grill-related incident just last month happened when I was visiting home from college. So he figured out what better way to welcome me back than with some grilling on a 30-degree day. Well, 1 minute into it, he flopped his rotund belly onto the grill because he read on the internet that if your stomach is fat enough, it can absorb the heat. It took him 0.5 seconds to realize he was wrong, and he also refused to go to the urgent care and is still recovering from the painful infection he got from the burn. When I was younger, Kevin burnt his balls and had to go to the hospital. My dad goes to the hospital for accidents at least twice a year. I'm only listing the crazy ones. How did he burn them? He tried doing a stunt in the kitchen to impress the in-laws by throwing a cast iron pan full of frying fish between his legs like a basketball. Kevin insisted he wouldn't bleed if he cut his skin around the veins. This was his justification for trying to perform a home tattoo with a ballpoint pen. The tattoo was E=mc², I shit you not. Kevin could not be convinced that a small fish can live in a small tank. He bought me a goldfish when I was 7 and insisted on buying a $1,000 giant tank, enormous tank for one singular ordinary goldfish, and filtration apparatus. Unfortunately, he set it up wrong, and on the first night of my owning a fish, at 3 a.m, the tank collapsed onto its side and smashed. Miraculously, the fish lived, hanging on in one corner. Rocky the goldfish would go on to live another 6 years in a normal bowl, which my dad was always kept a good distance from by my mum. Kevin had a pathological inability to understand the difference between a tornado watch and warning. If you don't live in the Midwest US, a tornado watch is issued for like 100 mile by 100 mile area and means tornadoes are possible for the next 12 hours, which means there is a confirmed tornado and is usually issued for an area in the path, usually by a 5 mile by 5 mile area. This is a distinction that Kevin could not understand. Every single time there was a tornado watch, he would insist that we all go to the basement, upwards of 10 days a year, it's pretty common in the Midwest, and he would peek out the window looking for tornadoes the entire time the watch was on, often up to 12 hours. The last few years he's broken his tornado phobia a little, but not totally. Kevin does not own a single clock. He says one shouldn't have clocks in the house because the ticking can cause cancer. When asked if digital clocks are safe, he says they're more dangerous because they also tick, just really softly. Kevin went to a Chinese restaurant and ordered dingus. He had to be reminded that the word was dim sum, not dingus. Given his reaction, he genuinely didn't know, and it wasn't a joke. Kevin refuses to read restaurant menus because if they have what I want, I'll order it, otherwise I won't order anything. This has resulted in ordering 100% of the time, making the waiter/waitress explain every single dish. Kevin went skydiving with my mum and got the dive cancelled after 30 seconds before jump, jokingly saying his parachute pack felt too light, like something was missing. The dive instructor refused to dive afterwards, even when my dad said it was a joke. He got a refund, though the instructor was probably a dick too for cancelling. There was this old cook on TV from the south who used to say, "I guarantee," in a ridiculous southern accent. Kevin picked this up, he's from Minnesota, and would not stop. "Can you do the dishes?" my mum would ask. "I guarantee." "Can you take OP to school?" he replied. "I guarantee." This went on for a month until my mum guaranteed to punch him if he said it again. My father tried explaining to me when I was 16 that I should really have a girlfriend by now. I told him I didn't like anyone right now, and he suggested that even if I didn't like my peers, I should pursue a relationship with their mothers. Thank you, Kevin. Very cool. Good old Kevin Sr., Kevin's dad, once lectured Kevin, in earshot of me, I was 14, that he should try to have a son. Kevin Sr. didn't have dementia or anything. He just thought I wasn't a real man because my hair looked like I was a bundle of sticks. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. Kevin Sr., for context, was born in 1932. Kevin was born in 1982. I was born in 2003. Bit of a generation gap. Kevin bought an enormous triple computer monitor, like a yard across, impractically large to use, and my mum was livid when he spent $1,600 on it. But the real fury came when it turned out it wouldn't even work on our desktop. Why? It was a 2019 monitor setup, and the desktop was the 2006 toaster Kevin had been using with 2010 Linux that Kevin refuses to update. The monitor went to good use when he sold it on eBay and sent it across the country in a gigantic box with no padding. Where it arrived, smashed to bits. Kevin had to refund the whole cost he sold it for. $300. Stonks. Kevin was astonished when my mum got a kidney infection because he thought only men had kidneys. It took him over an hour of lively discourse with a urologist to convince him that his wife wasn't intersex and didn't know it. Except Kevin didn't use the word intersex. He said, "a puss and prick." Kevin saw the humidity was 100% on a weather app and put on swim trunks because he thought this meant there would be water outside. I didn't even know how to respond to this. My dad was once pulled over by the cops for speeding. 69 miles per hour in a 40. He made so many 69 jokes the cop wrote 68 on the ticket. Hey, he could be the Reddit mascot. But there was one final incident that I could think really encapsulates Kevin perfectly. It was Christmas Eve, and his mother, Grandma 𝐄𝐕𝐓, had COVID. This was back in 2020. We were all together still because 𝐄𝐕𝐓 didn't believe in quarantine/isolating. My dad bought my mum a $700 piece of jewellery for Christmas. He didn't buy her anything else except some stocking stuffers. Who buys expensive jewellery for Christmas anyway? Kevin, I guess. Anyway, Grandma was by this point coughing blood but wouldn't go to the hospital for another 2 days, after which she was in for 2 weeks. We all got COVID from her too. But back to the story. A story of doom. For poor Kevin's present is about to go boom. He wrapped it up in a hurry and stuck it under the Christmas tree. He'd thrown out all the dirty bloody masks Grandma had left around, and I'm sure you know where this is going. The time Christmas morning came to open up gifts, and what does my mum get from Kevin but a bloody, filthy mask. Kevin managed to recover the jewellery from the trash, but not before making a legendary family moment. What kind of bonehead can mistake jewellery for a dirty mask? Kevin, hope you enjoyed reading about my dad more than I've enjoyed experiencing him. Oh my fucking god. This poor person. That's the whole last line of Kevin's. It sounds like OP takes after his mom, and that's probably a good thing. I'm amazed that he's born. Jesus. Oh my god, like, yeah. Yeah. One of the top comments is, I worry for OP's gene pool and their sanity. Oh my god. Oh no. That's fucking wild. Jeez, like it's literally a case of like surely it can't get worse, and the story is like, oh bet. Oh my god, that was a soul ass suck. That's amazing. OP even got conceived. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, like OP. No, I think OP's safe. OP has like recognized the insanity of it, so I think OP got his mum's genes. But like, Kevin needs to stop reproducing. I think Kevin just got lucky that he got a smart kid. Oh no, Sorrel, oh no. Man, like that's not even smooth brain, because that still implies there's a brain. Surely can't give us Kevin, hold my beer. And then Kevin throws the beer at you. Oh my god. Yeah, the mum got lucky. I mean, honestly. Give me a quick moment. Asta, what you doing? There we go. Sorry about that. Asta was being naughty. Yeah, that was little Asta's mew earlier. Yes, what is it? Hey, buddy. There you go, have some scritches. He's just sitting there staring around. Basically he was like scratching a metal board, creating a really annoying noise. He does that sometimes. And it's like, no, don't scratch the metal. It's nails on a chalkboard. It's painful. Yeah, that's what that was. That was Asta. That was like, okay, I need to stop him. This is driving me nuts. He doesn't do it very often, but he does it occasionally. And it's like, stop, because he'll go in for like 5 minutes and you're like, ah! Stop! Yeah, Asta was protesting Kevin. Hey, buddy. There you go, have some more scratches. There you go. Yes, I post pictures of my kitties in the pet sanctuary sometimes. Yeah, it's like this is the sound that these stories are doing to my noggin. Alrighty. Now. Hello, Burrito, welcome. Oh, are you a fan of Fanta? Hell yeah. I guess you could say I'm Fanta's design dad. It's nice to meet you, welcome. Oh my god. We're reading /stories about Kevin. Okie dokie. Now, this next one is titled My Friend's Ex-Boyfriend, Kevin, and the Near Manslaughter. Oh no. I'm mostly an art streamer, so I'll mostly like just do various art things. But I sometimes play things like Sims, Genshin, Minecraft, and visual novels and stuff. Alrighty. Let me introduce you to the epitome of a Kevin. My friend L's ex-boyfriend. This guy was the sweetest yet densest person I have ever met. So, the story begins at a free museum event where Elle and Kevin cross paths. Picture this. They're standing in front of dinosaur exhibits, and what ensues is a comedic debate on whether dinosaurs had hair, and if so, did they need haircuts? Elle initially thought that Kevin was messing around, but his unwavering sweetness won her over. Fast forward to our annual camping trip. Me and my BF, P, decided to invite Elle and her boyfriend, Kevin. Kevin's enthusiasm for camping is off the charts. He promised to bring his own gear, and we even confirmed that he'd have a 2-person tent with him, so we only brought a 3-person tent. We planned everything meticulously, from meals to clothing, and even chose nearby activities like canoeing and horse riding. We were all set for a great adventure. Elle hadn't been camping before, but Kevin assured us all that he had everything she'd need. However, As we arrived at the campsite, Kevin's full Kevinness started to shine through. His tent was not just small, it was a child's play camping tent that wasn't waterproof. Somehow, Kevin insisted that it was perfectly fine, just smaller than he remembered. Poor Elle had to share our tent for the night while Kevin stuck it out in the kids' tent. But that's not all. Kevin, in all of his wisdom, had promised to take care of the bedding for Elle. What he packed? A single duvet and 4 full-size pillows. We're still scratching our head over his plan for those. Now let's talk food. P gets the fire going, starts boiling water, and throws burgers on the grill. Kevin's role? Bring buns and salad. Well, guess what? He didn't pack any food, and only mentioned it when the burgers were sizzling away. We made do with what we had, but the next morning, we found Kevin had abandoned his tiny tent and slept in their car. It was a chilly night, so we decided to get a proper tent and hit the local shop for food that Kevin was supposed to bring. A bit of a wasted day, but we pressed on. Kevin and Elle got themselves a suitable tent, and we stocked up on food. That night, Kevin and Elle slept in their new tent. But the worst part? The next morning, all hell broke loose. P wakes me up, shouting that we need to rush to the hospital. Elle looked terrible, pale, sweaty, incoherent, and Kevin just stared blankly. Turns out, when Seven had got up, he'd placed the still burning barbecue inside the tent with Elle to keep her warm, not knowing about carbon monoxide poisoning. Elle spent 2 nights in the hospital, and she never saw Kevin again. He messaged her repeatedly about how he didn't know that would happen, and he even wanted to take her camping again. The nurses had a hard time believing that Kevin wasn't trying to kill her. He was just the ultimate Kevin. Oh my god, no. Damn, yeah, no. The whistling fire. Thank you for the hydrate, Alexio. Oh my god. Dude, oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's so not on. Holy shit. Like that's the level of dumb that's a danger to society. Damn. Alrighty. honestly, Sleepy, yeah, like that Kevin needs a minder. Alrighty. Hello, how are you? Alrighty. The next one. Kevin doesn't know he needs to inform management of his upcoming absence. So, here is a new story about my flat earth Kevin. Quick background. Kevin, 60-something male, is a cashier for a retail drugstore chain, and I'm one of his supervisors. Last week, on Tuesday, Kevin approaches the supervisor stating that he's having an elective surgery next week on Wednesday and will need the next 2 weeks off. But he's scheduled to work. Why is he scheduled when he can't work? Supervisor: have you informed the manager? Kevin: I'm supposed to tell the manager? How? Do I need to bring a doctor's note? Supervisor, picking a jaw up off the ground: how else is a manager supposed to know? How long ago did you schedule the surgery? Kevin: 2 months ago. Supervisor: why didn't you let the manager know sooner? Kevin: I didn't know I had to inform him. Isn't that a HIPAA violation? Due to the store having a pharmacy, we all had to go through basic HIPAA training every year. It's pretty much just a reminder of what it is. Supervisor: let managers know ASAP and bring a doctor's note. Supervisor calls me to the office to explain the procedure for going on disability. I was on disability earlier this year from having a baby. I give Kevin the number he needs to call along with the website he needs to fill out a few forms. Kevin: don't I just use paid time off? Me: why use paid time off when you don't have to? You're entitled to disability. I'll just use paid time off. Because Kevin gave us such short notice, we're now scrambling to find coverage for the next 2 weeks. Ah, no. Oh, no. He's 60. He's 60. Kevin, no. Don't use paid time off if you don't have to, you fool. Oh, my God. Bless his heart, though. Oh, my Lord. Alrighty. This one is called Kevin Decides to Attend Ohio State University. While he has now been kicked out of the friend group for unrelated reasons, one of my former friends was just about the king of Kevins. He would argue about anything, and he was wrong 99% of the time. Once he thought he'd won, mostly because people got sick of arguing with him. He would go off and quietly look it up on his phone. He'd never acknowledged being proven wrong. My favourite story was when Kevin announced that he would go to OSU if he decided to finish college. He dropped out a year in. OSU is selective enough that everyone else quickly realised that Kevin's odds of admission were low. He was at best a C student. I, stupidly but wanting to see how this played out, informed Kevin that he might not get in. And that's when Kevin got that smug, "I'm about to school you all" look on his face. Yes I can. Ohio guarantees admission to any state college if you have a C average. Ohio had recently started calling its community colleges state colleges. High school students were guaranteed to get into a former community college. Kevin, that means the state colleges, not the universities. Yeah, but it's Ohio State. Kevin, that doesn't make sense. Why would Ohio sabotage its top university like that? I don't know, but that's the law. Since it's Ohio State, anyone who passes high school can choose to go there. Kevin, the operative word is college, not state. No? And with that, Kevin buried his nose in his phone. Boy! Hello, Rita, how are you? Kevin, please. Oh, no. Oh, so confidently incorrect. Oh, my God. Oh, no. He's about to be in for a world of disappointment, that boy. Alrighty. This next one is called 𝐄𝐕𝐓, the sandwich artist. 𝐄𝐕𝐓's mother runs a Subway fast food franchise that my friend frequents with his partner and daughter. For reasons that are not entirely clear, teenage 𝐄𝐕𝐓 got kicked out of school. To help her occupy her time, 𝐄𝐕𝐓 is now a trainee sandwich artist at her mother's Subway franchise. My friend, his partner and daughter usually buy a 1 foot long sub and ask to have it cut into thirds so that they can share it. Good night, Nova! Usually, that isn't a problem, but this time, 𝐄𝐕𝐓 was serving them. She assembled the sub, doing a pretty poor job of it, and then cut it in half. Her mother/supervisor told her to do it again. So 𝐄𝐕𝐓 assembled another sub and proceeded to cut it into quarters. At this point, my friend was covering his mouth as he gasped in disbelief. 𝐄𝐕𝐓's mother explained to her that cutting the sub into quarters won't help when the customer wants to share it between 3 people. Unperturbed, 𝐄𝐕𝐓 took away 1/4 of the sub and said, "Okay, now they can share it between 3 people." Her mother attempted to explain that a customer won't be happy if they don't get the whole sub that they paid for. We're now wondering about 2 things. Firstly, how does someone make it to their teens without understanding fractions? And secondly, was the real reason 𝐄𝐕𝐓 got kicked out of school due to frustration with incredibly poor academic performance? Boy! How does she not know what thirds are? Come on! Come on! Oh no! Rest in sandwich! Oh my god. Alright. But do try harder. Like, at least she's only in her teens, so like she's got time to learn and to grow. Alrighty. Now this next one is called Kevin Tries to Sell a Vape Pen to the Math Teacher. My brother is 16 and is a genuine Kevin. I know a lot of teenagers will say and do dumb things to try and avoid doing work or look badass, but Kevin goes way beyond any typical dumb teenager in terms of stupidity. I'm only going to include the things that Kevin's done since entering high school. Instead of having an exam for his winter final, Kevin's 9th grade English teacher gave the class 4 different prompts based on Romeo and Juliet and had the students write an essay answering one of the 4 prompts. Kevin changed every since to because and moved some commas to try and hide that his essay was almost entirely plagiarized from SparkNotes. Surprise, surprise, Kevin's essay didn't fool Turnitin, and he got a 0 on his final. Kevin got grounded over something I can't remember and had his laptop taken away. Kevin waited up until he thought everyone was asleep to go to the family computer and look at hentai. My mum got up to get water and caught Kevin. Kevin tried blaming our dad, then me, then literally tried to blame our 7-year-old brother who doesn't use the computer. Kevin egged his history teacher's house on Halloween and acted surprised when he got caught, even though he and his friends had literally recorded themselves doing it on Snapchat. Kevin got incredibly lucky since his teacher agreed to let it go, as long as Kevin cleaned her car and yard. During class, the TA went to the bathroom and Kevin tried to steal her wallet and hide it under his hoodie. The teacher saw and forced Kevin to give the wallet back. The whole time, Kevin accused another student of stealing the wallet and framing him. Kevin has gotten in trouble at school because he tells people how he has an imaginary uncle who owns a marijuana dispensary and how Kevin's in the business. Kevin didn't even know until last year that pot, cannabis, and grass are all the same drug. Kevin has also gotten in trouble for telling people not to mess with him because he's an experienced car thief and will steal their cars if they piss him off. Kevin doesn't even know how to drive. He's failed the written DMV test twice, probably because 80% of it is common sense. Last year, Kevin bought a disposable vape pen from a classmate. Kevin was pissed off because the vape pen was dead and the kid had already left with his $15. Kevin decided to try the same scam. He walked around offering random people the vape pen for $20. He saw one of the math teachers, Mr. Kelly, walking by and offered him the vape pen. In Kevin's defense, I also thought Mr. Kelly was a TA when I first had him for Algebra 2. Mr. Kelly's only 26. He graduated a year early and was able to get a job right out of college since our principal and the staff liked him when he was a student. He can easily pass for a high schooler. But also, come on. What high school student wears a dress shirt and khakis to school? And Kevin says that people who dress that way are teachers' pets. So why would he expect someone dressed that way not to snitch on him? Unsurprisingly, Kevin got expelled. Neither of the other 2 high schools in our district agreed to let Kevin attend, so he's currently at a continuation school an hour away. Our parents refuse to drive Kevin, so he has to be out the door by 6 and takes 2 connecting buses to make it to his new schooling on time. On the bright side, Kevin's been so tired that he hasn't really done anything that he's not supposed to for the past 2 months. So hopefully the problem's solved by now. Oh no, oh my god. This dumbass. Oh, he totally deserved to be expelled for that. He shouldn't even have vape pens. He's underage. Hello, son. How are you? Of course, absolutely. Feel free to tell the story. Yeah, Kevin's tend to they tend to find a way. Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a Kevin. Where there's a Kevin, there's a way. Of course, Anna. Have fun with your rest. I hope you have the sweetest of dreams. Oh my god. If it's a big paragraph, could I bother you to send us the TLDR version in chat? But you're more than welcome to post the full story over in personal stories in the Discord for people to read as well. So it's like, while I won't be able to read the entire story, we do have a personal stories channel in Community Hub, so you can plop it over in there if you like, and that way I can read the TLDR and point people in this direction. Oh my god, though. Alright, now this one feels like it's a painful double down. And this one is simply titled, He refused to believe he texted the wrong number. I'm sure many people have received wrong calls and texts from unknown people. I have myself, but this person refuses to believe that I wasn't the person he was trying to text, and went on a rant for a couple of minutes before finally coming to the realization that, yeah, he was getting mad at a random stranger. I had just gotten home from spending all day at college handling homework and studying when my phone goes off, and I see a very angry text from this person who'll be our Kevin for the story. Here's what I can remember since this happened several years ago. Of course. Kevin, hey, tell your brother to stop giving out my number. I don't give out so-and-so anymore, so your brother keeps giving out my number and I don't want to deal with it anymore. Me? Sorry, I think you got the wrong number. Kevin, stop BSing around. You know what I'm talking about. Tell your brother to stop or I'm gonna kick his ass the next time I see him. Note, my brother Kirito doesn't go out anywhere, unless it's with me to go shopping for lunch or to take our dog for a walk. Other than that, he spends most of his time gaming with his online friends, but he doesn't get free items or do giveaways. I know, because I'm the one paying for his current online game so he can play for any new expansion. Me, I'm really sorry about whatever's happening between you and this guy, but you've got the wrong number. And I'm positive that my brother isn't the person who's given out your number. Kevin, of course it's your brother. You can't lie to me. I've known your brother since middle school, and if he doesn't stop, I'm gonna beat his ass the next time I see him. Okay, if you know my brother so well, then what's his name? His name is Michael, and you better stop handing out my number. Me, that's not my brother's name. Kevin, what the hell are you talking about, Kyle? Stop f***ing around, dude. Me, I'm also not Kyle. Again, wrong number. Kevin stops messaging for about a good 5 minutes, most likely finally stopping to read the random phone number he's been texting for about 20 minutes now. Kevin, never mind, just block this number and don't text me back. I mean, me to myself, I wasn't planning on responding anymore, block anyway, and that was the last I ever heard from him. So from what I'm assuming, this Kevin, Kyle, and Michael might have been business partners or giving out items, but once they ran out of the item, Kyle and Michael didn't believe they were out and were pulling a prank on Kevin to get a reaction out of Kevin. Instead, they just pissed him off and ended with him taking his anger out on me, a random stranger he happened to accidentally text and snapped at for about half an hour before realizing he'd made a mistake. Oh, classic Kevin. I love how they called the brother Kirito though. Oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, like live your best life, but like bro, like when someone's like wrong number, you gotta at least like have a moment, like at least double check the number. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh my god, your Kevin. All right, your Kevin's story definitely looks quite amusing. I'll have to check it out post stream. Alrighty, and thank you for sharing. Alrighty, the next story is called 𝐄𝐕𝐓 Teacher Meets 𝐄𝐕𝐓 Student. Oh dear, it's a double Kevin situation. So, I was both a Kevin and encountering a Kevin in this one, and the stupidity on display is in the social skills department on both sides. Some context. My family was military, and so by 3rd grade I was on my 4th school. I started in a jurisdiction where my kids could go to school or preschool from ages 3, and my folks opted for school because I was G&T, and it's not as much as it seems. G&T kids seem to run to 2 extremes. Weird quiet ones, and weird ones who are physically incapable of tolerating boredom or wrong ones, or wrongness. Guess which one I was. I'll give you a hint. Once when I was about 5, my 9-year-old cousin sat on me because my fidgeting was annoying her too much. So I started wiggling my toes and fingers. Yes, I'm being evaluated as an adult for ADHD. Anyway, 𝐄𝐕𝐓, the teacher, for her part, was the kind of old school teacher that cannot admit an error, penalizes kids for mastering the material by basically putting him in timeout for the rest of the class, and overall is a nasty, cruel bully who shouldn't be in charge of a goldfish, let alone 32 kids between the ages of 7 and 9. We got on about as well as
as elemental potassium and water, is what I'm saying. YouTube has some cool videos on that if you're not chemistry type. Back to the story. This is the tale of my first interaction of 𝐄𝐕𝐓𝐮 and how I managed to start my first period of my first day of my first week of a new grade at a new school with my first ever in school suspension, setting a new record for speed and getting in shit in school in the extended family that stands to this day. First impressions, I'm good at them. So first period was a bit of a deal because I was young for the grade, because of differences in age, cut-offs in different regions, and I'd effectively skipped a grade. And small for my age, so they actually had to get a kindergarten desk brought up because I couldn't see over my desk. Yeah, I was tiny. Eventually the dust settles with a desk I can actually use and see over. But by now the entire class is aware that I'm the weird kid who's too short for a normal desk, and I'm already getting short jokes. Great. So, being my G&T self, in a mainstream program for the first time, I'm thinking, I got this. Other programs, it was cool to be good at maths, so I just show off my algebra and pre-calculus and I could recover, right? Current and brackets, current me looking at kid me like, oh honey, no. Ever heard the phrase, for a smart kid they sure can be stupid? That was me, book smart, socially oblivious, too impulsive for good judgment. So the teacher starts a review with addition. I'm a bit insulted. I'm good at math, but in the old district, mainstream kids started long multiplication in 3rd grade, and 2nd grade material was multiplication and division, and some simple geometry, not addition and subtraction, which was kindergarten 1st grade material. My thinking was along the lines of, they must not be good at math, but don't call them stupid, teacher. Unfortunately, this sense of being insulted from my classmates doesn't come out. What I say is, in my old school, we did long division. This is too easy. Yeah, I was referred to an assessment the previous year. And the teacher replies, well, if it's so easy, you can show the class how to do this one. And she writes 2 times 3 on the board. So, triumphantly, I say, 6. And the teacher says, no, it's not. It's 5. I guess kids at your old school aren't that good at math. She turned back to write another problem. I was shocked. After I recovered my jaw from the floor, I stuttered a bit and finally blurted out, that's wrong. This teacher, let me tell you, knew how to turn around ominously. I grew up in an authoritarian household and I knew it was possible to wash dishes ominously and call someone's name ominously, but not turn around. That was new. Excuse me? What was that, dear? That wasn't the dear of a sweet old lady talking to a kid. This was the saccharine, fake, sweet Atlantic Canada dear that can mean anything you want it to. And right now, it meant a string of profane insults so long I'd probably hit the word limit. Think of how US Southerners can say, fuck you stupid idiot, with a bless your heart. That kind of dear. And, bless my socially oblivious little heart, I didn't pick up what she was putting down. 2 times 3 isn't 5. That'd be 2 plus 3. 2 times 3 is 6. A reasonable adult would admit the error and move on, even if I was being a right little pastor about it. But not 𝐄𝐕𝐓𝐮. No, the answer is 5. That's final. A socially savvy kid would have recognized the tone and dropped it. Not me, no. I had the bit in my teeth. She was wrong, and I couldn't just let her sit in her wrongness being wrong at me. This wouldn't stand. She's a teacher. She's supposed to know better. Why are you being so stupid about this? Excuse me? A teacher should know the difference between addition and multiplication, miss. You're wrong, and I can prove it. I stood up from my desk. I am not wrong, she said as she stalked towards me and my desk. You're new, and you want to make an impression on the class, but this isn't the way to do it. She pushed me back into my chair and continued, you will sit and not say another word if you want to not spend the rest of your first day in the office. Smugly, she returned to the board. But I had spent 7 years mastering the ability to walk quietly enough to avoid my father's rage, and she was wrong. This wrongness could not be tolerated. I followed her. She didn't notice until I was drawing on the board. I drew 2 sets of 3 lines, and circle each. To the class I said, 2 3s is 6, and I counted the 6 lines. I then drew a pair of lines and another set of 3 and circled each. To the class I announced, 2 plus 3 is 5. I counted the 5 lines one by one, stabbing my chalk into the board each time. The last one I did hard enough the chalk broke. I looked her in the face, speaking with the blunt, brutal honesty of a socially inept child with no filter, and I said, "You're wrong. If you don't know the difference, should you really be teaching us? Maybe you should be in the 3rd grade and I can teach math." And that was when she grabbed me by the collar and dragged me to the office. It set the tone of our relationship and remains one of my funniest memories from 3rd grade. Damn, mad respect, kid. Oh my god, fucking ace, man. That was amazing. Yeah, like, bro, you're not a Kavina, you're a fucking Chad, man. That's Chad, babe.
Yeah, like, come on. And the thing is, as well, is like that teacher was so up her own ass, going like, no, this child cannot be correct. Because if the child's correct, then I'm incorrect. So she's so up her own ass, she's teaching the class incorrect mathematics just to cover her own ass. Bro, this child is a goddamn but like, 5? Like, what? She asked the kid, what's 3 times 2? That's 6. And 2 plus 3, so 3 plus 2, that's 5. But honestly, the kid walking up to the board though, walking up to the board and literally spelling it the fuck out. That is Chad behavior. Oh, get dunked on, teacher. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my good god. Like, honestly. Teacher doing that 9 plus 10 equals 21 maths. Legit, lads, legit. Like, honestly, how arrogant do you have to be? And the thing is, as well, is like, acknowledging the kid's right and acknowledging you made a mistake is better than fighting for the wrong answer, because, like, bro, one looks a hell of a lot worse to the principal. All right, let's open up some more Kevins. Oh my god. Okay, all right. There we go. I'm noticing there are a lot of Father Kevins. All right, there we go. Oh my god. Honestly, kids are Chad. Straight up. 10 out of 10. Legit, you know, yeah. I know, right? Then a fucking 3rd grader. Like, dude. Is your ego so fragile you can't handle being wrong to a fucking child? Just dude, and take your L, because clearly the child handed to you in the most boss-ass way of doing so. Oh, get fucked, lady, you idiot. Alrighty. Now, this next story is called... Also, hello, how you doing? This next story is called... Kevin can't check in a wheelchair and almost endangers 300 plus passengers in the process. Good morning! I hope your morning's going brilliantly so far, dear Kaneko. Get ready to delve into the wondrous world of chaotic Kevin. I work in the airline industry, and like most airlines, ours has a set list of rules and protocols regarding how we check in things considered to be dangerous goods. Dangerous goods, for those who don't know, are items that could pose a fire hazard, such as matches, batteries, and lighters. So recently, we had a passenger traveling with the WCLB, a wheelchair powered by a lithium battery. The protocol is that the agent checking in the wheelchair with the lithium battery must inform the supervisor on duty, who informs the ramp agents who handle outbound baggage. Because lithium batteries are considered a dangerous good, as they pose a fire hazard, they're not allowed in the baggage hold. The passenger has to take the battery out and bring it on board with them. Kevin had been working with the company for a while, but it is difficult to work with. He's been known to mishandle check-ins because he gets airline terminology mixed up,
For example, he forgot to inform a passenger with dietary needs that their gluten-free meal wasn't confirmed, or forgot to let a supervisor know that a passenger was travelling with an unconfirmed pet in cabin. He is consistently late to work. He is known to go AWOL from whatever assignments he has. Everybody has to remind them that this isn't okay, but it never sticks. Kevin has been known to make agents cry because of his incompetence. So Kevin checked in the passenger but didn't let anyone know about her WCLB, her wheelchair with lithium battery. It was checked in like it was a manual, non-battery operated wheelchair. During boarding, Ram contacts our supervisor to let them know that they have a WCLB with the battery inside and that it had to be taken out. Here's what happened next. The gate lead, who's in charge of overseeing boarding, had to go on board the plane to find the passenger and let her know there's a problem with loading her wheelchair. The passenger, who can barely walk, had to get out onto the jet bridge and be taken down to the ramp to get the battery. She needs wheelchair assistance, but we cannot get a wheelchair agent at the gate on time to help. They are short-staffed and can't send an agent because they're too busy with other airlines. Our passenger fell down while being taken to the ramp. Eventually, they're able to get the battery, but departure is bungled. Passenger is furious. The flight's delayed. The airline staff's pissed because this could have all been avoided had there been better communication. To better understand the gravity of the situation, had the wheelchair been loaded with the battery intact in the battery hold, it would have exploded when the plane was in mid-air. Over 300 people could have died because of Kevin's carelessness. I just want to commend our ramp agents for catching Kevin's mistake, because this could have ended badly. Kevin has since been fired. Bro! Bitch got one job. Thank you for the cat back at Ren, I appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, hydrate. Alright. Stretch arms in front, up over the head, and yeah. Hi Nanavi, welcome. Oh my god though, like, dude, like, there's rules for a reason. You got a 4-day weekend, can I go? Oh fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, literally, Kevin had one job and he fucked it. Like, dude, these policies are in place for a reason. Like, if you're in charge of making sure they go through right, bloody do it. You're getting paid for it, man. That's so sweet of you, Nanavi, I swear. Settling right into my dear 𝐄𝐸. Alrighty. This next story is simply called 𝐄𝐕𝐻 Rents from My Father. 𝐄𝐕𝐻, female 35, has been renting a 2-bedroom house from my father for about 2 years now. He asked me to take over collecting rent from her. He said she was too much of a hassle, so now I'm in charge of dealing with her. I didn't think it would be that hard, and boy was I wrong. Here are some examples of why. 𝐄𝐕𝐻's mother has died twice and had 3 heart attacks in these past 2 years, so she has to pay her rent late due to being out of town for the funeral at the hospital. She only has one mother, who we met a couple of months after her second passing. When we asked 𝐄𝐕𝐻, didn't you tell us your mother passed? She says, I don't know what you're talking about. You must be thinking of someone else. After chatting with her mum, we learned that she hasn't ever even had a heart attack. 𝐄𝐕𝐻 doesn't understand why there is a late payment fee. She said she had the money in her account but couldn't get it to us for 5 days. We live one town over, about a 15-minute drive. We've told her many times that I have no problem going to get it. She argued with us that she had the money in her account on time, so there should be no fee. And my favourite, 𝐄𝐕𝐻 doesn't understand how PayPal, Venmo, or Facebook Pay works. I've shown her multiple times how to use it. After paying rent twice through Facebook, she wants to go back to paying with a money order. I have no problem with this, but when I asked her why, she told me when you pay through the internet, that's how the hackers get you. When I asked her to elaborate, she told me the hackers will collect your money as it goes through the internet with their Wi-Fi collectors. 𝐄𝐕𝐻's son, male 22, asked me to help him fill out the paperwork to get a direct deposit from his work. His mum couldn't help because she doesn't understand how a paper check gets deposited into her account without her signing it and bringing it to the bank. 𝐄𝐕𝐻 refuses to have a card with a chip in it because she believes that hackers can get her info by just standing next to her, because her chip emits her info at all times. Boy.
Oh, she sounds like a nightmare. Oh my god. Oh my god. I kind of feel bad for them having to deal with her as a tenant. Literally, it's literally a case of like meeting her mum being like, aren't you supposed to be dead? What are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah, like, it's kind of like, I can understand where the basis of the fear comes with, but like, that still doesn't excuse the fact her mum's died and had 3 heart attacks. Her mum's died twice and had 3 heart attacks supposedly, causing late rent, and when they meet the mum after her 2nd passing, she's fine, obviously hasn't died, and has never even had a heart attack. So she's just a shitty liar. Bro, like, she's probably like dead shit terrified of 5G, man. I know, right? How does one become like this? I know, like, I want to know how that brain works. How does one get to these points? Get on the empire. Bro, if that's how it works, hackers would be so fucking rich. Alrighty. This next one has a simple title, and it is simply called My Dad, the Kevin. I've been considering posting this for a while. Over a year, as a matter of fact. But I suppose now is the right time to finally get around to it. I've known my entire life that my dad is Kevin. Now, usually when you read stories about Kevin, you kind of get the impression that those Kevins are well-meaning doofuses who are trapped in worlds that they don't really understand or comprehend. But I've always thought that if you dig down underneath the incompetence, you'd find someone with a heart of gold. That's not my dad. My dad's an arsehole. Thankfully, he's an incompetent arsehole. But you know what they say about incompetent arseholes? Not only are they arseholes, but they spray shit everywhere too. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on about my dad's awful personality. You'll see parts of it, but if I laid out all the horrible shitty things he'd done, we'd be here all day and this would better be off and posted to our rant or archery off my chest. You came here to laugh, so let's make with the funny. In no particular order, I present the greatest hits from my dad, the Kevin. Kevin once had a barbecue on the 4th of July. He then chucked the hot coals into his apartment's dumpster. The dumpster caught on fire. The fire department had to come and put it out. Kevin lied and said he saw someone else do it. Years later, Kevin bought a mobile home. Kevin decided to decorate his trailer with Christmas lights. He decided to string a giant circle along the front of the trailer and then put a Christmas tree design inside it. Kevin got bored while doing the Christmas tree and stopped. The end result was that the front of our mobile home looked like it had some sort of malformed pentagram draped across the front. People would slow down and take pictures of our satanic Christmas tree lights. Kevin was too lazy to take down the Christmas decorations, so we looked like a house full of bizarre Satanists for literal years. Kevin once went to a hotel and suddenly decided that he really wanted to know what an elevator shaft looked like. So Kevin forced open the doors to an elevator while waiting in the hallway, which caused the elevator to jam. Somebody was inside. Kevin was asked to leave the hotel. Kevin really wanted to be rich. Kevin also didn't want to put in any work into becoming rich. Kevin spent the majority of his paychecks while he was working on MLMs. Kevin had a storage units full of unsold MLM crap that he couldn't sell. Most eventually was donated to thrift stores. The thrift stores couldn't even sell it. Kevin really liked amateur radio. Like a lot. Kevin would not shut up about amateur radio. Kevin lost friendships because he would threaten to not be friends with someone unless they got their amateur radio license. Kevin decided to fix his hot water heater. Kevin flooded the garage. Kevin's garage was full of MLM crap. Kevin had to move all of his MLM crap out into the driveway to keep it from getting flood damage. Kevin did this right as a rainstorm started. Kevin lost a lot of MLM crap. Kevin spent most of my childhood unemployed. When I was 12, I managed to network through some friends and their parents to get my dad a job at a HVAC place, which is pretty impressive for a 12-year-old, gotta say. Kevin fell off a ladder on his first day of work, went to the emergency room for an ibuprofen, and then no called no showed the next. He did not hold a job for another 2 years. Kevin is a weather nut. His favourite channel was the Weather Channel. Kevin once got excited about a storm and started screaming to anyone that would listen that it was coming right for us. The storm was hitting California. We live in Florida. We once had a tornado warning in effect while having dinner at my grandmother's house. Kevin screamed at me to get downstairs and die with the rest of the family. Kevin then decided that we needed to die at home, so he loaded the entire family into the car and made us cross town during an active tornado warning. Kevin really likes porn. In the early aughties, Kevin discovered Kazaa and downloaded a bunch of porn to the family computer. Kevin did not know how to change file names, so he told the entire family that the desktop file entitled oralcumshots.mp4 was Jump by Van Halen. When I found out that oralcumshots.mp4 was in fact not Jump by Van Halen and confronted him, Kevin said it was homework for the abnormal psychology class he was taking at college. Although Kevin took a psychology course, he did not trust therapists. He became angry with me when he found out I was interested in psychology and made me promise not to become a psychologist because they don't make any money. Kevin spent $400 for a giant shortwave radio receiver. Kevin put the radio in the middle of the dining room table and insisted we eat in silence while we listened to Radio Havana, Cuba. He said this was family bonding. Mum disagreed. Kevin is white. Kevin had a black co-worker. Said co-worker was complaining one day because he felt like he was being discriminated against. Kevin told his co-worker that he too understands systematic racism on the grounds that he is short. Kevin's co-worker was not amused. It took Kevin 9 years to get a bachelor's degree. He kept changing majors and dropping classes. When Kevin realized that I was going to get my bachelor's degree before he did, he tried to bribe me into dropping out of school so he could graduate first. Seeing his son get his bachelor's before he did finally put a boot in Kevin's ass, and he got serious about graduating. He went to a student counselor and found out what program had the most credits in so that he could hurry up and graduate. His subsequent degree program? Psychology. Kevin decided I needed a girlfriend. Kevin signed up for several online dating sites while pretending to be me. Kevin messaged multiple younger women using my profile. Mum was not amused. I joined the army after college. I gave my mother power of attorney over my car when I was deployed to South Korea. Kevin decided he would drive my car once a week in order to keep the battery running. Kevin started using my car as his daily commute. He added tens of thousands of miles to the odometer. Kevin decided to put a new stereo in my car for my birthday while I was deployed. He emailed me photos of him listening to my radio in my car. Kevin did not renew the tags on my car. I found this out the hard way when I came home on leave and started driving around with expired tags. When I went to go look for the registration, I also learned that Kevin had started keeping his guns in my car. After I went back to Korea, Kevin started to spread the love of amateur radio to my car. He installed a 2-meter transceiver and mounted an antenna. I was not amused. Kevin then sold my car. He did this without seeing if I wanted to sell my car. I didn't. I barely got to listen to the radio he got me for my birthday. Kevin was mystified when I made him give me the money for illegally selling my car while I was deployed. Kevin pouted for a week because he had plans for the money. Kevin spent $20,000 on a giant coagulated steel shed. The shed was almost as big as his mobile home. Kevin didn't have the tools to assemble his giant shed. His shed said semi-completed until a hurricane knocked it down. Kevin got caught having a registered email address on file during the Ashley Madison data leak. Kevin claimed he was just curious. Kevin spent $3,000 buying a gigantic illuminated electronic map for his amateur radio room. The electronic map broke after 3 days. Kevin spent another $1,500 fixing it. It broke after 2 weeks. Kevin threw it away. I started a master's program after I got out from the army. This made Kevin want to get a master's too.
He signed up for a full load of master's level courses, bought all of his textbooks, and then dropped all of the classes. Kevin did it again the next year. Kevin decided to start a real estate business. He got as far as registering as an LLC and shopping for commercial property to start his newfound business empire. Kevin's plans came to a halt when he found out he needed a real estate license in order to be a realtor. Kevin asked me for startup money so he could get his real estate license. I declined. Kevin told me I could be his business partner and quoted Darth Vader's line about, "Join me and we'll rule the galaxy as father and son." I declined harder. Kevin got fired from his job for having pornography on his work computer. When Kevin was called into HR to discuss the pornography on his work computer, he said that it was tasteful body art. HR did not agree. Kevin, however, did say who he was sharing his tasteful body art with via email. They got fired too. Kevin asked a senior layperson in the church if he could help him get a new job. This older gentleman agreed, provided that Kevin gave a list of references. Kevin got a phone call 2 days later informing him that there was no job and that Kevin should never talk to him again. This made church awkward. Kevin got a new job lined up that was paying twice what he was at the job where he'd just gotten fired from. They bought him a ticket and gave him a moving allowance. Kevin didn't go to the airport and lost his new job. Kevin managed to get another job after that debacle, which resulted in him and his wife moving across the country. Kevin's wife shipped their cat via airplane to their new home and told Kevin to get the cat from the airline's cargo terminal. Kevin instead went to the passenger terminal and went to the bar and waited for the cat to disembark itself. Kevin got drunk while waiting for the cat to come to the baggage claim. In the meantime, the cargo terminal called my mum and wanted to know when Kevin was going to come to get the cat, which was in another building across the airport. Since Kevin couldn't drive, my mum made him pay for a taxi. Kevin whined that this would have never happened if the cat had just gotten off the plane like it was supposed to. This resulted in my mum screaming at him over the phone in a four-way call with the cargo terminal personnel. And what the fuck did you expect the cat to do, Kevin? Call you collect? She was not happy when I laughed. Unsurprisingly, Kevin lost that job too. Kevin asked me to help him find a job. He wanted to get a job in psychology because he's got a bachelor's in psychology and they're supposed to make good money. I nearly chewed my tongue off. Kevin had to take a job at Lowe's. Kevin got fired from Lowe's because he let a customer drive the hydraulic lift. Kevin is in trouble with the IRS. Kevin forgot where he parked. Kevin called the police and reported his car as stolen. Kevin's car was sitting in impound for being next to a hydrant. The thing that finally ended Kevin's marriage is when he caught messaging a Craigslist hooker by his wife on her birthday. Kevin's was using a prepaid debit card to pay for prostitution liaison. He got the gift card as a Christmas present. The card declined. The hooker was not amused. Kevin sent a picture of his dick to entice her into having sex for free. She declined harder. After Kevin's wife left, he drove to another city to look for her. He spent a week sleeping in his car and hanging out at random convos. Kevin did not find his wife, and she wants to keep it that way. That all happened some years ago. In the meantime, Kevin has been diagnosed with dementia, although we're all pretty sure that all of Kevin's exploits, which spanned some 40 years, were all him. Some people think Kevin is now faking his dementia in an attempt to get out of the consequences of his actions. My response? It's the first time that Kevin would have been successful at anything, so I just don't see that happening. So anyway, that's my dad. Terminal Kevin. The end. Oh dear God, that was a fucking wild ride. Jesus Christ. Yes, that was his dad. Oh, thank God he takes after his mum. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. That was all the same person. That was all a singular Kevin. Hello, Master says, oh, welcome. Oh my God. It's just... Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like, poor kid. Poor
Oh, OP, like this is a scroller. Like this is Kevin. This is a true Kevin. This is. Oh my god. It's a bad idea. Close your eyes to this story. Legit. How did he hold his wife for so long? Like, oh my god. How did he not just like die from choking on air or something? Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. What a... I have no words. Like, I love humanity. Humanity is brilliant. But humanity is also brilliantly stupid. And that there was proof of that. For every genius you have, Kevin. Oh, hopefully, Kaneko, hopefully. They'll try not to get too crass, yeah? Oh my god. Oh my god. Legit, yeah. I swear, like, I mean, he surely wasn't paying the bills, but like... yeah, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna need a peppers. I'm gonna need to put some, I'm gonna need to like put a shot of vodka in the peppers or some shit. This, oh my god, that's a Kevin that requires like alcohol to process. Jesus Christ. If anything, I feel bad for OP having to live with that. Oh my god, imagine. You're right. Oh my god, yep. In a rainstorm. Legit. Honestly, I love how it's just like, and Kevin lost a lot of MLA crowd. Like, just like, come on, Kevin. Dude. And like, I love how the thing is as well, it's like not long after that, it was like, Kevin is a weather nut. Kevin really cares a lot about the weather. And I'm like, well, then how the fuck didn't you know it was a rainstorm, doofus? Oh yeah, like, if that was me, I would absolutely be furious. I would hate that guy with every fiber of my body if that was my dad. Like, Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit. What a dumb piece of shit. Oh my god, like that is like one of the most peak Kevins we've had tonight. And he said we live in Florida, that makes sense now. And it's like, oh yeah, this is a music cover. And it's like, no, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. The fucking cat part though, like, Jesus Christ. Just every single bit, every bit was just pain. More pain and more pain. It's like, Kevin, please, I'm begging. Hello, Noreen, welcome. Oh my god. Alright. Now this next one is a nice short one. Oh yeah, it's a cover for a music vid. Like, are you sure about that, Kevin? I don't know, that looks like cum shots. That says cum shots. That doesn't say music video, Dad. Oh my Jesus Christ, like, forgive the crassness, but that was literally the damn name of the file. Oh, Jesus Christ, how? Just, I want to open that man's brain to see how it works, because there are some gears missing, and it's a miracle it's still functioning. Oh, let's just say we were reading a very, very wild Kevin story, Noreen, and at one point he tried very hard to convince his family that a file with a very clear pornography name was in fact a song cover. He didn't change the name of the file. Unsurprisingly, opening it up revealed it was not actually a song cover. I'm questioning my faith in humanity right now. Yeah, doctors need to study that brain, because I think we'll discover some shit. That's the cat, I know, right? Like, what was the
supposed to do? Just disembark from the plane itself? It's a fucking cat, man. Oh god, this man is dumb as hell. That poor cat. That poor ex-wife. Oh my god. Just saying though, the guy who wrote the post, he wrote it so damn well. Alright, this next one's a nice short one. And this one's just simply called, My Assistant Manager is Interesting. So I work at a thrift store, and my assistant manager dress-coded me for wearing a skirt. She was extremely mean about it, berating me. I've worn the skirt before multiple times, and no one cared. So anyway, some time goes on, and someone donated a hentai shirt with all the anime girls with semen on their face. My coworker told her not to put it out and had to explain hentai to her and why it's inappropriate. Well, she decided to buy it. Even after we all told her what it was, she decided to buy it. She's like 60 for reference and wears it to walk her dog because she thinks no one will notice what it is. Alright, so this assistant manager has gone off at OP for wearing a skirt. And then she bought an anime girl jizz face shirt and wears it to walk her dog? I mean... whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever floats your boat, man. Alright, this next one is simply titled Kevin, the Receptionist. Now, Kevin was a retired gentleman who was hired as a part-time receptionist by our CEO as a favor to a friend, our Kevin's wife. He was driving her nuts being around all day. Kevin took great care of the lobby where he sat, which consisted of his desk, a waiting area, and 2 elevators that went to the rest of our company. One day, someone delivering a large package came through the lobby, unknowingly dropping packing material from a hole in the box all over Kevin's lobby and 1 elevator. Kevin came to the HR department to borrow their brand new vacuum. After about 15 minutes later, he brought it back, apologetic that he'd broken it. The power cord was pulled apart, completely severed, about 10 feet from the plug. Reader, he had plugged the vacuum into an outlet in the elevator lobby, turned on the vacuum, and was vacuuming the inside of the elevator when he let the door close, and elevators being elevators, it headed up to the top floor and severed the cord in the process. Rest in peace, poor vacuum. Oh no. Rest in peace, poor vacuum. He meant well. He meant well. That's a wholesome Kevin, but a Kevin nonetheless. Oh my god. He decapitated the poor thing. Oh, you're fine, Sorrel. I do appreciate you asking. As it is, I'm only reading stories that are posted on the Reddit at the moment. But like, so unfortunately I won't be able to read your story since it was just posted in tonight. But nonetheless, we do thank you for sharing it. I will read it like after stream and actually pop it into the area. just to be fair, you know. But I do appreciate you at least asking. You're not being annoying at all, honestly. I'm all up for people at least asking. It's a kind gesture. Oh my god. Alrighty. What did Henry ever do to you? Oh no. Okay, alrighty. Kevin, the Uber driver. I think I lost some brain cells after the conversation I had with my Uber driver today. Background info. I'm chronically ill and I have a condition that causes my gastrointestinal tract to not work, among other things. I'm not able to drive most of the time and often rely on Uber as they have a program through RTD which gives me a certain amount of free rides a month. Because of this, we got on the topic of people with disabilities who Uber, and he tells me a story about him picking up a blind person. He asked the guy if his cane collapses, and he said no. The driver then asked to give him the cane as he was worried about scratching the car. The guy refuses, as mobility aids for people with disabilities are essentially extensions of their bodies. So he kicked him out of the car right then and there. As troubling as that was, I let it go and we continued to talk. Somehow we got on the topic of COVID, and he starts talking about how he doesn't like chemicals. Instead of washing his hands or using hand sanitizer, between Uber rides, he tells me he puts his hands face up for 60 seconds and then flips them and does the same for the other side. He said that UV light kills the germs. He would also put his mask on the dashboard of the car in the sunlight to sterilize it. Even if there was some merit to that, the windshield blocks the sun's UV rays anyway. To make matters worse, he went on to say he works at a dental office, so he knows sterilization. Luckily, he said he doesn't like to touch the tools as they use chemicals to clean them, which was a relief to say he wasn't putting them in the sunlight. He then goes on to say the COVID vaccine was bad because so many people got blood clots, which is extremely rare, and also claimed that there are studies that say putting your palms face up in the sun makes you feel so much better and is so helpful for your body. I didn't even try to reason with him, as some people are just set in their ways of thinking. He was very nice, but still. Just to be clear, RTD stands for Regional Transportation District. They're in Colorado, and are the ones who do all the buses like light travel, etc., etc. Yeah. Well. I hope you have a fun time with your parents, Dread. I mean, this fucker was trying to photosynthesize. I swear to God, no, you're right. Just like, boy, Delulu is strong with this, Kevin. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know what they say? Text Delulu for your dreams to come true. His dreams ain't coming true though. Oh my God. New hand washing technique. All right. Just stick your hands in the sun and then flip them upside down and you clean. Oh man, yeah, I lost brain cells reading that. Like, oh my God. He'd be just there like, Ashley, let me out. Okay. Alright, I'll have another hydrate because I think I need some peppers after that one. Alrighty. On to the next one. This one is simply titled Kevin's Last Lie. I'm gonna tell y'all another stupid story. I should warn you that this one isn't really a comedy despite being set in a Radio Shack. Oh my God, oh no. This is by the same guy who posted the story about Cocaine Kevin. A few months after Cocaine Kevin took off for Brazil in pursuit of true love, we got a new transfer employee. We came to call him Aikido Kevin. I'm doing the Kevin because this is a subreddit about Kevins. We called him Aikido because we met him before the final act of the following chain of events took place, and afterwards we just didn't have the motivation to attach anything else to him. When I replay what happens in my head, it astounds me that this took place at all. I mean, we had our fair share of Kevins at Radio Shack. There was Cocaine Kevin, whom you've previously met, Crazy Kevin, TP Kevin, Kevin the Customer, and Kevin the Destroyer. Every one of these people occupies space in my brain for various reasons, but out of all of these Kevins, Aikido Kevin is the most memorable, and not for the reason you'd most expect. As if he'd represented the cosmic opposite to the Kevin he was replacing, this new Kevin came across as competent. He was older and well kept. He didn't smell at all like sun-dried squirrel, and rather than being cartoonishly fat, he was worryingly thin. He looked surprisingly normal for a Radio Shack employee. Completely trustworthy, certainly like the guy you'd confidently go to get your questions answered. Looking at him, I never would have believed in a million years that he would be the most
profligate serial liar that I have ever had the misfortune to meet. I know that I should start this tale at the beginning with the story of how he got his name, but I really don't have the space, and instead we'll just roller coaster through this cascade of events, much like I did originally. Hello, Moon Marshu! Almost from the moment Kevin showed up, things got real weird, real fast. He lasted for about 6 months with us, but they were unforgettable. It started with Kevin telling us he was a triple stripe dragon class black belt in Aikido. Then he told us he met Kiss back in the 70s, and they invited him back to their hotel to party. Then the lies got egregious. He was late because there was a riot in Publix. Someone else ate the food that I had clearly marked and labelled in the back fridge. His dad was in the CIA and helped plan Vietnam with Henry Kissinger. He didn't know why the drawer was short, $5.34. He was allergic to fruit. The list was long and got progressively weirder as the weeks went by. But it was generally innocuous. Innocent. But then he fucked up. He told a lie about NASA. Guys, this was a Radio Shack. We were all nerds of various stripes with varying areas of scientific interest and knowledge. There was no possibility in any universe that one of us could just traipse into my Radio Shack and successfully lie about NASA. Especially this particular lie. There was even less of a possibility upon hearing such a lie spoken, any of us Radio Shack employees would let it go unchallenged. Okay, now all the foreshadowing is out of the way, let me get down to the meat. I mean, that's why you're all still here, right? This chain of events spanned 3 days and began in the way that these things always do. Somewhat accidentally. Day 1, the NASA provocation. It was a normal Florida afternoon for everyone who didn't work at my store. As usual, I came in and on the second closing shift. I was taking over from Kevin, who just returned from his vacation. The drawer was missing $5.34. Again? What the fuck? He fixed it while I was in the back recounting it. Okay, $5.34. Okay, this is weird. I have to report this shit. While waiting for his wife to pick him up, Kevin told me that he and his family had a blast in Cape Canaveral, and that he was able to take his son to the anti-gravity chamber at NASA. He went into great detail about how they flew around in the tunnel. Now, y'all, I'm not an idiot. I very well know how NASA trains their astronauts in zero-G. Fuck it, I'll bite. Kevin, they use planes to simulate zero gravity. What are you talking about? He shook his head conspiratorially and said, no, they have secret pods. There's 2, one in Huntsville, Alabama, and one at Cape Canaveral. It's top secret. I have a friend. I stood there transfixed as Kevin embellished his experiences at NASA a bit more, making sure I knew how cool it was that his kids got to meet all the astronauts and how big the pod really was, almost as big as the Pentagon, until his wife finally showed up and they left. I think I took a minute before going back inside, and I had to call Frank, our store manager, to report the drawer discrepancy. And if I'm being honest, I also wanted to inform him of NASA's Pentagon-sized secret. We were all getting sick of Kevin's fibs, but no one had really said anything to him yet, and I knew Frank was a huge NASA fan. Repeating to him what Kevin had said was tantamount to lighting off firecrackers at a funeral, and at that age, I just wanted to watch the world burn. Frank answered on the first ring, as I knew he would if the store was calling him. Hey, Frank. So, my drawer was short $5.34 again. Kevin somehow fixed it. He also went to the secret anti-gravity pod at NASA while he was at Cape Canaveral. Frank laughed. There was a long pause. Then he snarls. What? Your drawer was short? Oh, I'm done with this. Frank hung up. I looked down at the phone. Dang. Frank is a terrible force for truth in the universe. I knew this from painful personal experience. Day 2. Kevin's last lie. I got a call at 5 a.m. to come in early. That Kevin couldn't open. Whatever, more money for me. I rolled out of bed. When I got there, Frank was behind the counter pacing and literally purple.
I have never seen a human being that color before. He looked like an engorged eggplant preparing for a canly jewel. I was putting my stuff away in the back when Frank stomped in behind me. He was hollering about gravity and idiots, and I realized immediately that Kevin was in major trouble. A frisson tickled its way through my central nervous system. Fear or anticipation? Uncertain. Frank could be terrifying. Alternatively, Frank could be compassionate. Frank was a real street dude, a living tragedy to triumph, rags to riches kind of guy. He was also a very understanding boss. He basically only had three rules. Don't fucking steal, don't bring your personal fuckery to the store, and most importantly, don't ever fucking lie to me. Those are exact quotes, and he lived up to them. I know this. Now, all you know this too. Kevin should have known this. But Kevin lived life on the edge. In the back room, I squared my soldiers and pretended to be uninterested while watching Frank's face pulse with incandescent rage. "What's up?" I ventured, trying to hide my curiosity. Frank exploded like something you shouldn't put in a microwave. His purple face rippled as he tried to roll his eyes and snort simultaneously. He looked for all the words like an indignant water buffalo, which is funny, really. See, big game hunters will tell you that despite looking slow and stupid, the water buffalo is one of the most dangerous animals on Earth. African buffalo will lay traps. They'll actually double back to lie in wait for their to hunt their hunter. And much like the animal he resembled, Frank too was dangerous and known for his traps. He smiled at me ferally. "Kevin called this morning. Apparently his cousin, the St. Petersburg cop, got shot last night in a drug raid." "What does that have to do with NASA?" I said stupidly. Frank stared at me like I was the only red gal in the blue man group. "I busted Kevin last night for theft," Frank said slowly, with that owlish look he saved for especially thick customers. "Okay, but what does that—" I stopped, the light bulb over my head starting to flicker. "Oh," I said. Frank was still staring at me, perhaps waiting for my brain to finish its loading sequence, accurately concluding that I was operating somewhat below dial-up speed. He sighed impatiently and continued. "My wife just called the hospital just now. They don't have anyone by the name of Kevin's cousin's name on file there. She called 2 other hospitals just to be sure." I looked at him blankly. "Wait, what?" Mental globe finally snapped on and flared brightly. "Oh shit." My brain is furiously connecting the dots. Did he just lie to get uncaught for thieving? Is that even a thing? What the fuck? Frank nodded grimly and picked up the phone. He dialed Kevin's number. Unfortunately for this story, I had a customer walk in right then and therefore didn't hear what was said. Customers can be the most annoying thing in the world sometimes. This one probably wasn't, but I don't remember because all I could think about was Kevin's career suicide. It seemed like an eternity passed before I was able to rejoin Frank in his investigation. In the time I was away, Frank had learned 2 things. The first thing being that no cops had been shot according to the news, which Kevin countered by claiming that the news wouldn't report on a cop being shot in an ongoing investigation, and the second thing being that no hospital in the tri-country area had admitted anyone matching his cousin's name, which Kevin dismissed by saying that secrecy was standard operating procedure in a full blackout situation and that it's all put in place to protect a wounded cop's identity. It was a testament to Frank's determination that he was able to do all of this so quickly, especially since this all happened back in the 90s before the sum of human knowledge was only a smartphone click away. The inanity went on for my entire shift. Frank sending his wife to check out hospitals while he alternately called local newspapers, TV stations, and Kevin. Frank was terrifying in his pursuit of the truth, and I have to admit it was a thing of beauty to watch him put his case together. Perry Mason be damned, Frank was on an investigative roll, but no matter what he learned when he called Kevin, Kevin had an answer to it, a detailed answer. He went into specifics about how the bullet 9mm hit his cousin's vest and ricocheted off a rib. He explained how it was a cartel case and everything had to be kept hush-hush. It was quite entertaining, if schadenfreude is your thing. It's not mine. I can't really explain how uncomfortable the whole thing made me feel, like chewing on cotton. There's no way Kevin keeps his job. Kevin has the survival skills of a seppuku bomber and the critical thinking skills of a cabbage. It was plain as day that Kevin was a drowning man grasping desperately for an anchor. Finally, my shift ended and I went home mentally exhausted on Kevin's behalf. As I left, I could see Frank behind the counter still on the phone, hyper-focused and absolutely intent upon some mission objective that I apparently wasn't cleared for. He told me to just be ready for close the next day. Day 3. The Great Denouement. I woke up haunted with a strange certain knowledge that disaster was nigh. Maybe it was the same instinct that allowed animals to sense an earthquake before it strikes. I really don't know. I felt both uncomfortable and giddy as I readied myself for work. When I pulled into the Radio Shack, I saw that Frank's Jeep was there, so was Frank's wife's SUV, and Kevin's car was nowhere to be seen. Oh boy, that's not a good sign. I parked and went in. Immediately, I could see Frank, his wife, and the employees who had opened huddled furtively together behind the counter. No customers in sight. Excellent, I thought. Maybe I'll finally get some answers. This is a Radio Shack after all, right? As I counted in my drawer, the preliminary results of Frank's investigation poured out. Allegedly, Kevin had been taking money from the drawer to get Macca's for lunch. The amount, $5.34, matched perfectly with the meal Kevin was observed eating each day that he worked. No one knew why he did this. He very obviously brought his lunch in from home every morning. Frank was a twitter with anticipatory fury as he spoke. After the conversation he'd had with Frank the previous night, Kevin had slyly switched shifts with another employee to avoid having to open, and therefore face Frank, which of course had jacked Frank's temper over from red to plaid. Kevin daring to dodge him like this was simply the last straw, and he decided he was going to fire Kevin, except despite trying all morning, he hadn't actually managed to reach Kevin to give him the news. Frank being Frank, this in no way deterred him. He simply looked in Kevin's employee file and called the emergency contact. By the time I walked in, the proverbial shit had hit the fan and was well into its ballistic arc towards us in the form of Kevin's wife. Y'all, it's really important for this story that you have a mental picture of Kevin's wife. Essential even. Do y'all remember that 90s song All Star by Smash Mouth? Remember the lead singer? If you don't, it's okay. Just picture Guy Fieri instead. Now picture Guy Fieri / the Smash Mouth dude dressed up as Xena, warrior princess. That's what she looked like. She was of the larger size, but I bet she could probably crush her watermelon between her thighs easy. That's really a thing, by the way. You should probably Google it. Anyway, Xena was surprised to hear that Kevin wasn't at work. She was even more stunned by what Frank had to say. At roughly the same time this phone conversation was taking place at the Radio Shack, another weirder conversation was taking place in person across town. Out of exasperation and to outmaneuver Kevin completely, Frank had finally just sent his wife down to the police station, which went something like this. She walked in and asked if any of the cops had been shot recently. I imagine if there was a pregnant pause at the reception desk, while it was hurriedly determined whether or not she was a threat or a crazy person. She asked again and was told that no one had been shot recently. She then asked to speak with Officer Kevin's cousin's name, and lo and behold, he happened to be walking by at that exact moment, unwounded, ambulatory, and utterly confused as to why anyone thought he'd be shot in the first place. Perched behind the counter at the Radio Shack, listening to Frank and his wife list the steps they had taken and the results of taking said steps, I actually felt kind of bad for Kevin. I mean, why would he do this? Why would anyone make up such a ridiculous lie? What did he have to gain? And most mysteriously, why was he stealing money to buy lunch when he brought his own lunch in? The whole thing was steeped in bizarre absurdity, and I was beginning to lose perspective of the situation when the door chime dinged, and Kevin walked contritely into the store, followed by his strapping virago of a wife. Y'all, holy shit. I don't think I'll be able to properly describe what came next, but I will do my best. When I was a kid, there was a cartoon I saw once. Maybe it was part of a Disney movie, maybe a Bugs Bunny short, I don't really remember. But in it, a massive nanny-type woman drags a teensy man into a room by his ear to force him to apologize for something. That's almost exactly what happened.
Xena frog-marched Kevin into the Radio Shack and made him apologize for stealing. She literally made him hand over an envelope with $600 in it, the amount Frank calculated Kevin had stolen over 6 months. She berated him for breaking the diet she had set for him. I'm going to say that again. He broke the diet she had set for him. This veritable Amazon of a woman had set a caloric limit for this dude who was already so skinny he could likely crawl through the holes of a chain link fence. All of a sudden, it all made sense. All of it. Kevin was emasculated, hence the lies. Kevin was desperate and fucking starving, so he stole to feed himself. I was wrestling with my newfound understanding of all things Kevin when she told us the envelope was all of his allowance money. At this point, I was entirely speechless. I could only gape witlessly at her. Stealing a glance back at Frank, I could tell he was going through the very same emotional turmoil as I was. In the uncomfortable silence, Kevin handed over his keys and mumbled something about it being great working with us, and then they left. With the possible exception of the first time I saw the cemetery scene in Steel Magnolias, I have never gone from one emotional extreme to the other so quickly. Where I had been affronted by his actions only minutes earlier, I now felt unimaginable regret, and I could tell Frank felt the same way. Frank had held back from revealing that he'd had his wife visit the police station, and he never even brought it up. He looked deflated. All the energy and momentum of the chase gone, replaced by utter shock and remorse. Y'all, I bet you thought this story was going to have a happy ending, or at least a funny one. I'm sorry to disappoint you. No happy ending here. Just a cloudy moral lesson. Kevin was fired and we never saw him again, though I insisted that Frank's wife go back down to the police station and tell Kevin's cousin everything we'd seen and heard. I felt that I owed him that much, being responsible for the initial phone call that had set everything in motion. Yes, Frank and I learned much and more that day. That experience changed something in me. I'd like to think I'm a better person now. Oh, I still laugh at Kevin's, but I don't assume anything anymore. Oh no. I've learned that everyone has a truth to tell, even if it comes swaddled in lies. Jesus fucking Christ! That was a whole ass goddamn adventure, like, dude! Oh my god, I mean, I kinda hope he and her do get divorced and she's controlling him to that point. I feel a bit bad for him. But also, he's like bullshitting like left and right. Like, free Kevin, but also like, stop lying. Oh my bloody hell. Jesus. What a tale. What a tale. Oh my god. Jesus. Yeah, like, Kevin's probably in a really, really bad spot. Like, for real, I do hope that he got out of that. I mean, like, this is a story that apparently happened in the late 90s, so it's well in the past. But, like, I do hope he eventually escaped. But, like, damn, I have a feeling that if he'd explained his situation, and, like, though I can understand not wanting to. It's an embarrassing situation. Couldn't handle the ham, cheese, and tomato sandwiches. But yeah, like, oh man, that's allowance money. Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's insane. Actually insane. That whole story was insane. I mean, I hope that dude eventually got out. And I hope he at least learned to not steal and lie his way around this kind of stuff. Because it does blow up in your face eventually. It's kind of like it was a horrible lesson for everyone. But, like, Frank's wife and Frank fucking detectives, like, they could be private investigators, they could be. Holy shit, like, that's some PI shit they were going down. Like, they sniffed bullshit and got sick of the smell, and they just went full ball, like, alright, you're not gonna tell us the truth? Fine, if you're not gonna tell us the truth, and we've given you many opportunities to tell us the truth, we're gonna call you out like that child called out that teacher by spelling it the fuck out for you and calling you on your bullshit. Oh my god. An actual bloody tale, that one. Jesus Christ. Holy Kevin. God, got no words for that one. Jesus, that was a massive one. I mean, hopefully it happy ending afterwards. But, oh my god. That guy attracts a lot of Kevins. Okay, this next one is simply titled Kevin Applies for a Job. These feel like these old children's stories. Clifford goes to school. Clifford eats a sandwich. Kevin tells a lie. Kevin's last job. It's totally got that vibe, am I right? Oh my god, yeah. Very true, man. Exactly. It's like you can definitely understand why he wouldn't be comfortable explaining his problems, etc. But also, as a result of that, he totally missed every boat life raft given to him on the way. Alright, Kevin applies for a job. This was years ago, back when I still worked at a movie theatre. I was standing out in the lobby when our guy, Kevin, walked in. Kevin walked up to me and asked, "Hey, do you have any job applications?" "Sure," I replied. "Hang on a minute." I went and grabbed one of the applications, a pen, and handed them to him. He then walked over to a corner of the lobby and began filling it out. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far. After a few minutes, he looked a bit flustered and signaled me to come over. "What is it?" I asked. He pointed to a spot on the application and said, "I'm having trouble figuring out what to put in this section." The section he was pointing to? Employment history. I was a little dumbstruck, but I tried to hide it. "Well," I replied, "where did you last work?" "Oh, I worked at Random Company." "Okay, you write that down there along with your duties and how long you worked there." He proceeded to write that down, and I went back to my post. Minutes later, he called me over again. "What do I put down here?" He then pointed to the box underneath. I ended up holding his hand and helping him fill out the rest of the employment history section. Yes, he asked me how to fill out each box as he moved to the next one. Finally, he had finished the application and handed it to me. I took it upstairs and gave it to the general manager. "I should let you know," I said. "The guy seemed a little easily confused. I had to walk him through how to fill out the employment history section on the application." The GM looked at the name and said, "Oh yeah, I remember this guy. I've interviewed him before, not too long ago. Yeah, you're right, he is easily confused." "Wait, he's filled this out before?" Needless to say, no, he did not get the job. Oh my god. Oh no. Boy needs to get his memory checked. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh dear, oh dear. Boy. Oh my god. Alright, this next one is a short one. And it's quite to the point. This one is titled, Kevina doesn't know what urinals are. I have a friend who's a retired cleaning lady. She used to clean at a university campus. She often tells me a story about a Kevina she trained once. When Kevina went down to the cleaning to men's room, she didn't know what urinals were and thought they were a device for cleaning hair. This Kevina ended up eventually being fired, but I'm not clear on the details why. Cleaning hair? Bruh? Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're going to be getting a special kind of shampoo. Oh no. No. The difference between a Kevina and a Karen. Kevinas are like Kevins. So basically, Kevinas and Kevins are both just dumb as shit. They're basically like, they're just dumb. Like, just painfully dumb. Whereas Karens are the, like, I want to speak to, like, they're very entitled. They're, like, entitled, confidently correct. Very much like, I want to speak to the manager, pissy types. That's your Karens. But, like, hair washes. Oh, honey, no, please, no. Oh, dear, no, that's so bad. Oh, no. Alrighty. Alright. I think, considering it's starting to get a little bit late. Exactly, Nobby, exactly. Alright, since it's getting a bit late, I'm gonna make this one the last story of the night. And as with the theme, it's good to go for the ones which add to the Hall of Fame. I think my dad is a Kevin. So here's the top 6 things that he's done. To preface this, my dad is in his late 40s and is a genuinely intelligent man with shockingly little common sense. How he's made it this long, I have no idea. 1. He broke his leg climbing a helter-skelter. He claims he was trying to get the mat back after he fell off of it, but my gran says he definitely had the mat at the bottom. Either way, on his way up he slipped, obviously, it's a slide, and snapped his ankle. 8 weeks later, he was at the hospital getting his cast off. He was so excited by this, he jumped down the hospital stairs and re-broke his ankle. They had to turn around and go straight back in, and my gran made him explain to the doctor why he was back. We were on a family trip to the beach. Me, my brother, and my dad were exploring around an estuary. I spotted a top-tier stick across the stream. I tested the bank with my foot, decided it was too slippy, and told him it was too slippy and moved on. My dad, wanting to be a good dad, decided he'd go and get it for me anyway. As soon as one foot left the bank, his other slipped under him, and all 6 foot of him disappeared. He managed to climb out a bit further down and had to do a walk of shame across the beach to my mum. Eventually, he ended up driving home naked with coats tied around his waist and a high-vis jacket. All of the neighbours saw him get out of the car and walk into the house. He works on the setup running side of motorsport. He got his car stuck in a ditch while pulling another car out of the opposite ditch and proceeded to lie down in a chicane made of huge black bales to try and reach his towing eye without getting into the ditch, which obviously leads him into getting run over by a van. He then proceeded to complete the event and drive 100 miles to our local A&E before getting it looked at because I was only run over a little bit. He stapled his thumb to a sign with a staple gun. He put his thumb on the sign to hold it to the post and somehow managed to place the staple gun over his thumb and fire it without moving his thumb. In one day, he slammed his finger in 2 separate car doors. The first one broke it and the second one broke it more. Then stapled his thumb to a sign again, since the first incident he'd been using his finger to hold them, but that was smashed, so he reverted back to his thumb. When he got back to the B&B, he realized he left his trainers outside all day in the rain, and then left his boots in the same place overnight. These are my favourite stories of him, and he's won the Mugs Merit Trophy from his motor club every year since 2019, including managing to be 3/4 of the entrance one year. And that's why I think my dad is a Kevin. Boy! Oh, yeah. It's the final Kevin. Hello, people. How are you? Welcome. We were just enjoying some r/stories about Kevin. I'd say never change, but I think this is one of these situations where it's probably not a bad idea. Change is good. Oh my god. But yes, I think we will have that one be the last story for tonight. Kevin has certainly taken us on one hell of an adventure. Oh my god, though, like, thanks for suggesting it, though. This Reddit is insane. Honestly, though, but, like, my favorite one is definitely that massive, the second Kevin dad. The arsehole dad, Kevin, the one who kept getting fired and just went on forever, like that one. easily Kevin of the night, that one. But like, they were all gloriously terrible Kevins. It's psych degree Kevin. I don't want that Kevin as my psychologist.
Thank you so much for the follow, Hellheim Links. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome to the Uncanny Valley. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Oh my god. So with that being said, let's see. Alright. Let's go and... Oh, I found a good choice. Found someone playing Honkai Star Rail. So those of you who enjoy that game might enjoy this particular raid. We're raiding someone called Dojuous, and honestly, the reason that got my attention is their stream title is Dr. Ratioing D's nuts, and that is quite funny. But yes, so with that being said, thank you guys. I mean, Cocaine Crocodile Kevin was pretty damn good too. But yes, with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me for my stream tonight and entering the realm of Kevin. Well, let's be honest, we can all come out feeling a little smarter than we did before. Oh my god. But yes, with that being said, my next stream will be, I believe it'll be, let me open up my stream schedule. Alright, my next stream will be on Saturday night, 8 PM ADT, so in 2 days' time, where I'll be working on my next commission. So we'll be working on that. However, tomorrow night at 8 PM ADT, we're going to be doing our Cards Against Humanity game night in the Discord. So that one won't be streamed on Twitch, but it will be in the Discord. So, you know, if you want to join in, it'll be really fun, honestly. It's just open to anyone in the Discord. So, you know, if you want to join the Discord or see my stream schedule,
Hello there.
exclamation point Discord, and feel free to pop on in and join in. And tomorrow night we're going to be having a blast. We'll all be in BC, so like we will all get to witness the chaos. Oh my god. And hi Michael C, how are you? But yeah, so with stream schedules as well, I also post them over on my Twitter, if you want to have a check out. And my mods are more than welcome to post my other socials, etc. as well. I sometimes do TikToks and YouTube videos occasionally, though I haven't been doing them lately. I need to get off my butt and do them more. Oh my god. Of course. So, with that being said, let me actually set up this raid. Alright, there we go. Spell it correctly. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, the raid has been set. Brilliant, brilliant. Alright, so we'll be raiding Dojuous, and she is currently playing Honkai Star Rail. So, for those of you who enjoy that game, will probably enjoy this raid. Thank you for posting the raid message, of course. And thank you for joining me. I know after stream I'm just going to get back to work on my model. Oh yes, a fun little model update as well. I'll probably pop it stream ending actually, that'll be smart. Fun little model update. I've officially finished rendering it, so I'm now up to the cutting process. So, we're getting close to the rig, guys. But yes, once more, thank you guys for joining me. It was a damn joy to hang out with each and every one of you, and it was really fun to read these stories about Kevin. So with that being said, have a marvelous evening, morning, noon, or night. And finally, raiding in 3, 2, 1. Night night. Dream of Kevin. Ciao guys.